You think that I would think I'd recognize the intro music by now. I just turned over to Skraby and I'm like, is this us? Are we on? Skraby's like, didn't even have to answer me. He knew.
No, I mean,
what a dumb question that was. I mean, you play this every day of our lives. And when the music starts, we're supposed to talk.
Yeah, but I
look over at you and I'm like, what? Are we on? What? What's going on?
How
are we doing?
Today,
what's happening?
I'm a little bit behind. 2 p.m. definitely snuck up on me today. We have about 4 minutes to get everyone in and out of the studio and set up and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a little behind the scenes that people, probably don't care about. But
no, I think they do. I think
they
like hearing it.
By the time Craig and Annie get out quickly, let's not try to make it seem like we're upset at them. Now, Braden Suprenant, he lags. Braden Suprenant takes forever to get out of the studio.
So many times I have to tell him to get up.
If Braden's listening or anybody knows Braden, tell him he takes forever to get out of here.
Forever.
And that's where you have to sit. So that's basically what puts you behind.
Yeah.
Braden, we love you, but you take way too long to get out of the studio.
Today, I can't even blame Braden for it.
No, not today. He was out quickly today, but there are times when Braden lags. Annie's out quick. Craig's out quick.
Yep.
So but it takes time to, sign back onto the computer.
And Braden has more to do over here, too.
Oh, whatever.
No,
don't make any excuses
he has to
for
do
him.
the podcasting.
Don't make any excuses for him. No excuses for Braden Suprenant.
I will stand up for my fellow producer.
No excuses for the man I like to call BS. Braden Suprenant. Nah, he knows I'm a fan. Yeah, but you're right. It takes us a few minutes to get organized and get in here. And just enough basically for me to sign on to the YouTube video.
Yep.
And then the music's playing and it's like time to talk. So we shall talk. Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. 2:02 is now the time. Tony Gwynn Jr. idle today. But let's make it clear. Tony is being the great dad today.
He got kind of mad at me.
He's flying. Yeah, well, because you said he was on vacation
well,
again.
I didn't want to give away what he was doing, so I said vacation because that was the most open-ended, easy thing.
You made him sound like he's just,
a freeloader. He's just taking off in the middle of spring training.
Yes, since you're a freeloader who eats the free meals at games, you now think that Tony's a freeloader who takes off in the middle of the thing.
I didn't mean anything by it, but he made sure to let me know I needed to clear that up before.
He was he wanted to make sure. But he's just playing, and he's playing the great dad. I mean, how many dads would fly to Florida for a 5-day soccer tournament?
A lot.
I know most of you would.
But
most
how many
of you
dads
But
would just completely turn their back on
I might
their teammates.
I might fly for a 5-day softball tournament. 5 days of straight soccer. Woo! That would be testing me, I must admit. Probably more than one game a day, too.
At least it's in a better frequency than MLS. We have to wait every week. You have to.
Because we could probably watch. You're right. We could probably watch Tony's daughter's tournament easier than I can watch the SDFC match this weekend in Salt Lake City. But that's another story. So Tony will be playing dad for the next few days. We will take over for him here. We have a good show for you today. Skraby's actually been hard at work for a change.
Okay.
He's got Matt Snyder of CBS Sports coming on the show in this 2:00 hour. Plenty of baseball to discuss, of course, with Matt. And we got Michael Flix later on for you high school basketball fans. They're into the state playoffs now. And I believe I saw somewhere that San Diego teams, all of the teams that are in the state playoffs, were 7-10 in their first round state playoff games. That's pretty good. That's almost 500. Remember, the high school teams in LA and in Orange County, for the longest time, just thought San Diego is like their little brother. Yeah, just beat up on them and when they get to the state tournament. And that used to be what happened. San Diego teams would get in there against Orange County teams or LA teams, and they would have trouble advancing. But that's not the case anymore. So we'll catch up on the San Diego high school basketball scene as the state playoffs get underway with our guy, Michael Flix. That's in the 5:00 hour. Before we get to all of that, though, Skraby.
Yes.
Sweet move by the San Diego Padres today.
Oh, you like it.
Love this move. Even though I called him Julio Iglesias, who I believe is a famous singer.
I think it is.
I think he's the I think he's the son of, or no, Enrique Iglesias
Yes.
is the son of Julio Iglesias, if I'm not mistaken. But no, it's Jose Iglesias who the Padres signed to a minor league contract today. I'm a fan of this move. First of all, you've got nothing to lose. If he doesn't make the team, he doesn't make the team. If he makes the team, you give him very little money, $3 million. And I'll tell you one thing: if Jose Iglesias is anything close to what he was last year with the New York Mets, $3 million is going to be a bargain and then some. This guy plays great defense, like Gold Glove level defense in the middle infield, second base or shortstop. Now, I know that, he could play third also, give Manny a day off. And I know Bogarts has got short. But if Jose Iglesias makes this team and hits anywhere close to 337,
I'll take 290.
I would take 290. His career average is 283. So that's just
not too far off.
That's level par is
Yeah.
283. He slashed 337, 381, 448. His OPS was over 800 for a middle infielder.
What's the catch here, Chris? Because
there's no catch.
But this seems like
All
this
right.
guy is good enough that there's
Here's
a catch.
the catch. He's 35. He's
It
35
doesn't
years
seem
old.
like a catch to me after last year coming off that type of season.
All right, here's the other catch. He was only playing because the Mets had a major injury
They did.
to their second baseman, Jeff McNeil.
Yeah.
And without that, Jose Iglesias probably would have just faded into the daylight. He was signed to a minor league contract by the Mets last offseason, did not make the team opening day.
Yeah.
He did not make the team. But when they had injuries after the first month or so of the season, third base, I think they had Brent Beatty starting at third base last year. This was before Mark Vientos became a thing. And McNeil got hurt. They needed second base, third base. They
rose to the challenge.
They brought up Iglesias, and the rest was history. I mean, the reaction to this signing ought to just be this: OMG.
Oh, don't! Oh my!
Do you remember the OMG
Of
thing?
course.
Do you know who came up with it?
Was it him?
Jose Iglesias came up with it. He came up with the whole thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why I said what I said.
I figured you were just linking him with.
I know
OMG.
you. No, he has to be linked to OMG because he was OMG.
Ah.
Yeah, he was the spiritual leader of the Mets last year.
That is huge.
I mean, he was.
They made a huge run. They went all the way to the
they
NLCS.
They were the darlings of the whole thing. And when I saw, when you go back to some of these games late in the regular season where they had to beat Atlanta right at the end to get into the playoffs, and then in the first round when they played Milwaukee, and then the next round when they upset the Phillies, it seemed like Iglesias was coming up every time, and every time he was coming through.
Yeah.
So he was the spiritual leader of the Mets. So for risking nothing, this is excellent move. Excellent move. There's nothing wrong with this in any way, shape, or form. I mean, when you got an 830 OPS, I grant you that's 200 points higher than, or 100 points higher than his norm. But this is a 280 hitter who can play excellent defense, second base, shortstop, third base. If he is, anything at all like he was last year, you can even put him at second base and move Jake to first, and you now become excellent defensively just by that one move. Arise would have to DH. But it could all be nothing. He could end up not making the team, and things just go on the way they go on.
Be that case for some reason. Here's another thing that I love about it. I guess last month he was talking to the New York Post, and he said that the loss to the Dodgers in the NLCS left a bad taste in his mouth. And he said he hurts because we started something that definitely isn't finished. This is him talking about going back to the Mets. But what I'm saying is he has the fire to beat the Dodgers. That's a great thing.
Doesn't like the Dodgers.
I love that.
Well, let's give him $4 million then. That's an extra $1 million.
Especially after watching Roki Sasaki last night. I'm hoping that.
Yeah.
I said this on the Skraby show last night, Chris. I was like, This is not going to go well for me cheering against Roki Sasaki because he looked incredible last night.
All right, he struck out 5 in 3 innings.
It's spring training.
Yeah,
but he struck out 5 in 3 innings.
All right, he also walked 2. He hit a batter. He had a wild pitch. And he gave up a couple of hits.
All right, thank you for that.
So he didn't go 15 up, 15 down with 14 strikeouts.
You're right.
Thank you for that. Was it a good debut? Yes. Was it unbelievable? No, it wasn't perfection.
But anyway, back to Jose Iglesias. He wants to beat the Dodgers, and I love that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. One team, look, he may want to beat the Dodgers, but the team he needs to worry about helping the Padres beat is the stupid Rockies. Even in spring training, the Rockies are beating the Padres today 2-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Blackman's not even there.
Peoria.
Like, what the heck?
It's unbelievable. I mean, they can't touch the Rockies. Antonio Senzatella shut out the Padres for 3 innings today. And now 2 relievers have come in and shut down the Padres. These are Rockies relievers, okay? So, this has been the way it's always gone. Michael King started for the Padres today. 2 innings. He struck out 3. Nothing wrong with King. The other, I think good note so far today, Robert Suarez, after a bad outing a couple of days ago, back in there today with an inning and 2 strikeouts. But, other than that, again, it's 2-0 Rockies. They're in the 7th inning. We'll see how that turns out in Peoria as far as spring training action is concerned. By the way, if anybody wants to know how stupid records are in spring training, just know that the Rockies are currently 9-3. They're never going to be that again.
I guess you can only fight for 1 championship per year.
And the Rockies are going for the spring. Yeah. Dick Montfort probably will give them rings if they win the Cactus League title.
Oh, that would be great if you gave them little cactus rings. That'd be amazing.
Little paper mache rings for winning.
He's not buying real rings.
Oh, God, no. He's not going to spend any money on it.
Actually, he's just giving spider rings.
He may have his 5-year-old daughter design it and make them at home herself. So to save money. All right, we're underway. A good start to the proceedings. I think, the Iglesias, I'm happy with that. I think most people are. I don't think that's going to be
no, fans are very happy because they've been telling me for months to sign
I don't think there's a bone of contention anywhere with the Padres picking up Jose Iglesias. That's the sweet news of the day. When we come back, today's sour note as Gwynn and Chris gets underway on 97.3.
Man, I'm going to cry in this
I hate
break.
To bring everybody down.
Why don't you just let me ride high in this break and then bring me down in the next segment, Chris?
Sourness is coming up.
I think he can play second, short, and third very well. So that's a benefit of what we know coming in. This guy's a proven defender regardless where you put him.
Did you run into him at all in 2023 when he was in Oregon?
I did not. No, I did not get the chance to come across him, but I've competed against him in Cincinnati and primarily, and seen him across the field last year in New York and Colorado. So there's familiarity there and respect there.
Mike Schultz is happy to have Jose Iglesias signed to a minor league contract earlier today. I was just ecstatic, Skraby, because anytime we got a 4-hour show and Tony's off tending to his daughters playing soccer, the Padres signing a player is a good thing.
It's huge.
Like if they could just spread this out and do about one a day for the next, couple of weeks, we'd appreciate it.
I think, was Tony on vacation when they signed Nick Pivetta?
I think he was. Yeah, that saved us as well. I think you were the guy on Pavetta. I think it was after I
did break
gone
the
home.
news. Thank you.
Yeah, you had you broke the thing on the on the Skraby Chronicles. You were all over that
but
one.
Apparently, when Tony is not on the show,
things
big
happen.
news happens.
Yeah, well, maybe we should send him away more often.
Well, he's going to be gone the rest of the week, so maybe some more stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, if the Padres, if you guys wouldn't mind, over there at the Padre offices. Do not announce more than one signing per day.
Yes, please spread it out for us.
One per day would be
appreciated.
Yeah, it'd be very much appreciated. All right, that's the sweet news of the day. The sour news, the Aztecs basketball last night at UNLV. They fell 74-67. A couple of things. Number one, straight up, this hurts their chances for the NCAA tournament. That's the biggest deal here. I don't agree that they should necessarily be on the bubble. They beat Houston, Creighton. They've beaten Boise twice. They beat New Mexico. They've had a great season. They have a tournament pedigree. They've been to the Sweet 16 each of the last 2 years. I believe that they shouldn't necessarily be on the bubble, but what I believe doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is they're on the bubble, and they are now squarely on the bubble. And this doesn't decide it, but I'll just give you an example of what last night's loss did. ESPN Analytics, before the game yesterday, had them 70% chance to go to the tournament. After the loss, 55%. That's a major drop.
That is a big drop.
And they now have to win Saturday night at home over Nevada. If they lose that game, the final game, I think they're almost out unless they win the conference tournament.
Yeah.
So they cannot lose to Nevada. And I will also say that now that they're probably going to be in the 4-5 quarterfinal, 4-seed, 5-seed quarterfinal in the Mountain West tournament, they better win that game too. Because whoever they play in that game is also going to be trying to get into the NCAA tournament. It looks like they would match up in the 4-5 with either Colorado State or Boise State. Well, those two teams want to get into the tournament as well. So the Aztecs now put themselves in a situation where they really better win their next two games. And even then, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat when they make the announcement on Selection Sunday. So that's the first thing. That's the big picture. As far as the game itself is concerned, I know you said you didn't get a chance to see it.
I read a lot about it this morning.
Here's what drove me nuts.
Tell me.
The kid on UNLV.
Big man?
No, not the big man. The big man dunked the ball. Big deal. I'm not impressed by that. You throw him the ball right into the basket. I think he should be able to dunk the ball. That doesn't do anything for me. The kid on UNLV, number 20, Julian Rishwain, averages 9 points a game.
And he
shoots 38% from the field, except for last night. Career high, 26 and 6 of 9 from three. The guy could not miss. Skraby, he was throwing in blindfolded shots with two guys.
Oh, he was Buddy Boeheiming them?
He was, yes, it was the Boeheim thing all over again. He could not miss. And I don't know this for sure because I couldn't tell on TV, but it sure looked to me like every time he made a three, he immediately stared down the Aztec bench.
That's a technical.
Evidently not, because maybe that's not what he was doing, because I wasn't at the game to put it in, context.
Yes.
But it sure looked to me like every time this guy made a three, his eyes made a beeline for the Aztec bench, and I just wanted to wring his neck. And then he went out there and hit another three. And then he drove to the basket, drew a defender, passed it for a dunk. He could do no wrong in this game. It was just
laughing because it's kind of hilarious.
It is. It was so annoying. It drove me nuts. So that's the thing. Number one, why I was sour about the game. And number two, this has been the story all year for the Aztecs basketball team. And I have a feeling when, and I'm going to say when, because I still believe they're going to get into the NCAA tournament. I believe in these kids and the coaching staff. But when they get to the NCAA tournament, I really believe their final undoing of the year, whatever game, it is that they get beat, is going to be because they cannot play defense without fouling. They just get called for too many fouls. In the second half last night, they were out of fouls, meaning they had already committed 16 fouls.
That's a lot.
With 16 and a half minutes still left in the game. That means that for 16 and a half minutes, every other foul you commit sends the other team to the free throw line. What does that do to you as a team? You can't defend. You have to get your hands off. You can't do what you want to do because they get themselves into foul trouble every time. And I blame the officials as much as anybody else has, but there comes a time when you have to stop blaming the officials and you have to look at you in the mirror and say, we have got to stop fouling. And here's the other thing. Of the 6 fouls, and this is just the second half, they were out of fouls in the first half, pretty early as well. But of the 6 fouls I saw in the second half, at least 4 of them were committed 30 feet from the basket. There's just no reason to even foul. You got guys dribbling the ball 30 feet from the basket, and you're bumping them and reaching in and giving the ref a chance to call a foul. Stop it. Now, if you pick up 6 fouls because the team's driving to the rim and trying to dunk on you and you go up to contest the shot, that's one thing. But if you're just picking up fouls by bumping guys out on the perimeter, that's so annoying and frustrating. And I know it's hurting everything they want to do after that, because now you're out of fouls and you can't play defense the rest of the game.
I read some things after the game that slightly concerned me because Miles Bird, do you have their box score in front of you? Number one, what did they shoot from free throw last night?
Well, free throwing shooting was another issue.
See, that's my first thing I always say. You got to make your free throws.
It's one of the things. They were 12 of 20. But
that's not terrible, but it's not good. It's 8 points right there that would have won the game.
12 for 20. UNLV was also 12 for 20. So it didn't hurt them in that regard. Both teams were equally bad.
All right. Good point.
But where the teams were not equal was in point shooting. Led by Rish Wayne, the guy who could do no wrong. UNLV was 12 for 24. That's 50% for those of you math majors out there.
I'm looking at theirs.
7 for 29.
That's
24%.
That's the difference.
You can't win a game like that on the road.
Well, here's what concerned me a little bit. Miles Bird said after the game, they knew what was up. Yeah. They knew the stakes. They knew that they had to win this game. They didn't perform.
They didn't take care of it.
Brian Dutcher said after that he didn't want to make an excuse, but he said that they look slow, they look tired, they look lethargic.
Well, here's one more trick of the gods in the Mountain West Conference. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. They played in Laramie on Saturday.
I saw this too.
Their flight home was delayed till the next day because of mechanical issues.
Oh my goodness.
They had to spend an extra day in Laramie, which saps you because you're in the altitude.
Yeah.
They got home Sunday, had to turn around Monday and go to Las Vegas and play Tuesday. Those are things that other schools in the country who don't ever go to Laramie don't have to worry about.
No, that's true.
It's not an excuse. It's a fact. And it may have showed itself last night.
Did they fly the same exact plane that you flew?
It might have been the same. I guess. No kidding. We had a terrible flight to Laramie as well, but I do believe we got home at the right time.
That's 2 flights now
Yeah.
at Laramie that had mechanical issues that changed things.
Yes, you're right. Remember ours was because the bathroom was broken. You couldn't go to the bathroom on the flight.
Just hand me some trash bags. We're going home.
We're going home. Yeah, Laramie, they won in Laramie, but it may have cost them last night in Las Vegas. All right. I was sour. I'm still a little sour because I always get sour.
You know
when
what?
they
In
lose.
this case, Chris, I don't blame you.
Rish
I was a
Wayne.
little bit mad, too.
I can't stand Rish Wayne. Rish Wayne.
The name Rish Wayne sounds like
Just enough to bother you right there, isn't it?
when I was a drunk, I used to call my uncle Richard, Richard, and it sounds like that. Rish Wayne.
Rish Wayne.
Rish Wayne.
Oh, the guy was unconscious, Skraby. I mean, just insane.
Someone mentioned he looked like Jimmer Fredette last night.
Jimmer Fredette all over again. But, Jimmer used to actually shoot threes from the logo. Rish Wayne was not shooting from the logo, but he was hitting everything.
But yet he was staring them down because he had the best game of his career. Calm down, Rish Wayne. Let's see what you do next game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Now I'm angry, Chris.
I was angry, man. The guy's staring us down. I didn't like it at all.
Not a fan of that.
And there wasn't anything we could do because he went down and hit another 3. So he had the last laugh last night. More Gwynn and Chris coming up.
There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So. So Chris says I can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Skrabe. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You've hit some.
We are league 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel, but he wants to attack me. Squirrely! We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after.
It was a 5-footer.
After our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet. Skraby, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him, but we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Skrabe. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You've hit some.
now, and it's getting really windy. Actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off of birdie, and I just hit my 2 minutes. There's a squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! Ah. We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after
It was a 5-footer.
after our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Skraby, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him. But we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So.
2:35 is the time. Matt Snyder from CBSSports.com. He'll join us in just a moment. I'm looking at, I'm a little over the world. You get on my case because I go to ESPN for stuff too often.
Yes.
Right? You don't like that about me?
Correct.
I'm trying to change it.
Whoa.
I'm actually getting a little annoyed at the arrogance of, Lenardi and some
arrogance.
Yeah, that they think they know everything and everybody goes to them.
But that's what they're paid to do.
I know, but they're not as good at it as people like Jerry Palm on CBS. He does a better bracket. He's more accurate.
You could say that, but I don't think it means Joe Lunardi has arrogance.
Arrogant, I say. Anyway, checking up on Lenardi.
So what other websites are you going to?
That's about it.
Oh my goodness. I have my morning websites. ESPN, CBS Sports, MLB.com, and Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report.
And then sign on San Diego. That was a long time ago. San Diego Union Tribune.
I'm trying to see if the Aztecs are even in the field at Jerry Palm right now. Yes, they are. Last four in now. So they're on that's the bubble of bubbles right there from Jerry Palm.
Bubble of bubbles.
And, one of the other teams there is Boise State. Well, I mentioned they could play them in the 4 or 5, tournament game. Guess what? That could be a winner take all right there. Winner goes in, loser goes home.
It could be.
So the Aztecs have put themselves in a precarious position, or better yet, Rish Wayne has put them in a precarious position.
Oh, I love that name, actually.
I hate Rish Wayne.
Rish Wayne.
Don't know anything about him, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
Drove me crazy last night.
Got me all pumped up.
If you're just tuned in, Padres do have a new guy, Jose Iglesias, veteran infielder, second base. Last year played second base for the Mets in the playoffs. He was their second baseman with Jeff McNeil hurt. Iglesias had an unbelievable year, 337. For those who keep track of such stuff, he was a 3.1 in the WAR, which I guess for only playing 85 games
is really good.
Is incredible.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't know anything about WAR, but
I know.
I'm told that's like very impressive.
I think I painted myself into a corner, Chris, because we went on that whole WAR thing last year with Paul Skeens and Jackson Merrill. And then when I try to reference WAR, I think I'm a complete hypocrite because I'm telling everybody about WAR when I said that WAR doesn't matter.
WAR
I think
doesn't
I painted
matter.
myself into a corner.
I'm going to tell you why WAR doesn't matter, because the top rookie in the National League for most of last season in WAR was Mason Wynn, who finished about 10th in the Rookie of the Year balloting where he should have finished. There you go.
All right. Thank you for that.
Jose Iglesias, by the way, was the guy. He He actually wrote a song that was called OMG.
Yeah,
that's what started the whole thing.
I think we might have to play it a little bit later.
Okay, in the Mets clubhouse, and then they had the big. Remember, they had the big OMG sign.
I remember they also had Grimace. They had a lot of great things.
They had a few things going on last year, but Iglesias was the heartbeat of the Mets last year. Hopefully, he'll make it on the Padres roster. He signs a minor league deal today. Padres trailing the Rockies. Spring training 4-1. They're going to the bottom of the ninth in Peoria. All right. We are excited as always.
Can you guys hear? No one can hear me when I'm talking to them.
I barely hear you over there.
But
I know
I'm not going out over the airwaves.
I don't think so. Okay, no. Good. You have to talk to our guests to make sure they're on the air.
I
get that. And we are pleased to have our guy Matt Snyder from CBS Sports on with us to talk some baseball. Matt, how are you today, sir? How's March?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Pretty good so far, but hey, IU lost last night, so I was in a bad mood today.
See, our schools make us sour.
Yeah,
I just did a whole thing on the Aztecs losing last night to Vegas, and Indiana's in a similar spot as the Aztecs. They're trying to get in on the bubble, so a loss is hurtful this time of year. Sorry to hear that, Matt.
I'm getting used to it, so unfortunately.
All right, you do have 1976 to fall back on. Although that might have been might have been BS before Snyder.
It was.
Yeah.
I was in second grade in 1987.
Second grade. Oh, 87. That's right. They won again in 87. Key Smart with the shot. All right, let's get to some baseball here. The guys who think they know everything over at ESPN gave the Padres offseason a D grade. They cited, the inactivity. They cited not getting Sasaki. They cited losing quite a few players off last year's squad. Do you think D is a fair offseason grade for the Padres? I mean, just being honest about it.
Maybe. Like you're just when you're that close, you're on the cusp. It's 2022 NLCS. 2024, one game away from getting rid of the Dodgers, who ended up winning the World Series. No World Series championships. Kind of feels like the time to be aggressive. And with the ownership situation at a crossroads, obviously the front office is trying to juggle a lot of things. But if you just look at, do they actually look better than last year? I don't know that you can say that they do. So I understand being that hard on them.
Yeah, I mean, it is, look, here's the thing that a lot of people are glossing over in San Diego. I'll be honest with you, because I think people are pretty happy with, Pavetta and, hopefully, between Jason Hayward and Connor Joe and, whoever these other guys are playing left field, they're all having good springs. They'll be able to make up some ground. Now they get Iglesias today. So people are kind of, a little fired up about that. But replacing Profar and Higashioka and Joe Musgrove's hurt and Tanner Scott out of your bullpen and Hassan Kim at shortstop. And these are a lot of good players that every team in baseball would have trouble replacing, right?
Especially with the year Profar had. I mean, he was so good in so many big spots. He felt like, he's not a superstar or anything like that, but he felt like one of those glue guys.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. And you got 158 games out of him. That's a lot of work to try to replace a glue guy like that. So that felt like a big one. And, Higgy is, again, that to get that kind of work out of a part-time catcher, the 17 home runs right there alone, that's a lot to replace. And a backup catcher, most hit like 3.
Yeah,
so
right.
you're talking about like there's a loss in production, there's shortfall in production right there. So I can understand the concerns for sure, but by the same token, there's a lot of talent here. There's still a lot of talent, and it's not like everything went perfectly last year. And I know that so many national people, he's one of the first guys they think of. So I'm sorry, but Fernando Tatis Jr. still is better than he's been playing. We know he has more talent than this. He's still capable of being a top 5 MVP candidate. So if he gets back to that level, if Manny Machado plays more like 2023 instead of 24, that helps to make up for a lot of that lost production. And look how good Jackson Merrill was last year. There's always a chance he has another gear in him. You never know. So and again, we'll go back to a big name, Xander Bogaerts. he's probably past his prime, but it's 32. He's not 40. So
yeah.
There are ways on the roster to say this guy could be better. Cronenworth. Another one's Cronenworth. You've seen him play better before, and he's not too old. So there are ways within the roster to say, yeah, there's lost production, but some of the guys that are on the team still can pick up the slack.
Agreed.
Talking to Matt Snyder of CBS Sports here about the Padres, about spring training, and left field for the Padres is going to be a platoon because you said it, Jurickson Profar now in Atlanta, they needed to fill that spot. And it looks like it's going to start as a platoon between Connor Joe and Jason Hayward. My question is, do platoons in your mind work, or do they need to have someone who is more often than not going to be playing left field?
Well, you probably will, right? Just by virtue of most pitchers are right-handed, so that makes Jason Hayward the kind of the everyday player, even though they're going to sub in Connor Joe against lefties. Yes, if deployed properly, and if there are guys who have drastic enough splits, or it doesn't even have to be drastic, but if it's a situation where the hitter is definitely a good hitter against right-handers, but really terrible against lefties, or vice versa, yes, it can absolutely work. I don't know how much more offensively there is to Jason Hayward at this point in his career.
Yeah.
But to have him only play against righties and to have him play defense in left field, I think that he can still be a good defensive player out there. He's always been fundamentally sound and a smart player, so he will be good on the bases. You're going to get a low average, but he might still he might still occasionally run into one against right-handed pitching for a home run. So they're toward the bottom of the order. It can work fine. We've seen flashes of Connor Joe with the stick. I think that they can be adequate, but I wouldn't bet on much better than that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Matt Snyder, CBS Sports, and you hit it right on the head, Matt. I mean, these guys, they have, these star players, and every single one of them actually could be better than they were a year ago. The one I'm going to be honest with you, Matt, that I'm worried about, he gives me personally no reason to worry, but the world of a rookie going into the second year always worries me. And Corbin Carroll was a pretty good example of it. I hate to say last year.
Terrible first half. Yeah.
So
like he woke up in the second half, but
right. So what does Jackson Merrill do to prevent it from happening? It seems like he's doing everything right. This kid works his butt off. But, man, these sophomore jinx or whatever you call it, it's just kind of in the back of my mind.
Well, that stems from – I'm not a big superstition guy as it is in terms of analyzing. But it stems from the league just saw the kid for the first time, and they had a whole year to see what he's good at. Maybe in the offseason there's a lot of ways to scout, to look for holes, and then he gets approached differently in the second year, and he has to adjust to the adjustments that the league made to him. But nowadays, there's so much scouting, there's so much technology. I kind of feel like it's shortened, it's compacted into where you might be exposed 2 months into your rookie year for 3 or 4 weeks, and then you have coaches helping you to adjust to the adjustments that the league made to you. And I kind of feel like he's probably already weathered that. Carroll, for me, there might have been some World Series hangover there in terms of it was the first full season of his big league career. Then he had to play an additional nearly 20 games in the playoffs. Then it shortened. Plus he had all those shoulder injuries. I think that was a confluence of events, and there was much more to it than just it's the league getting another look at him and having reacted. With Merrill, there isn't much like that. There are a few extra playoff games, but not a whole month of them. And teams would have already been looking to make adjustments to him, and he's already faced one of the best teams at advanced scouting in the league, and the Dodgers a lot of times, including in the playoffs. So I think he's probably already seen everything that they're going to throw at him. So, yeah, I mean, there's always a possibility that he won't be as good, but I wouldn't be overly worried about it. So hopefully I quelled your concerns a little bit.
You did. I feel quelled. Right. I'm quelled. Thank you.
It's not easy to quell Chris. Let me tell you.
Not an easy thing to do.
We're talking to Matt Snyder, CBSSports.com here on 97.3 The Fan. And I was reading some articles. You did a Snyder soapbox. I want to get to that later with the automated balls and strike system. But you also, with all of your CBS Sports coworkers, put together a list of 5 teams that made the playoffs last year that are likely or may not make the playoffs this year. Padres were on the list. How much do you really think the Padres are going to miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I didn't have a hand in that.
We know Matt's a Padre guy.
But,
RJ did do that one specifically. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry to leave you in.
But I mean, I would let's see. So okay, Phillies, Braves, Mets. I think all three of those teams are going to make the playoffs, even though I think the Nationals are going to be better than last year and are going to push them a little more. I think all three of those teams are going to make the playoffs. Dodgers are obviously going to win the West. Sorry. You're going to have a division winner from the Central. So you're left with one playoff team. I think the Diamondbacks are better than they were last year, and they won 89 games last year. You're right in that range then. So it's either, Padres or Diamondbacks, or you're knocking out one of the teams from the East, which is possible. By no means is it impossible. The Padres won 4 more games than both the Braves and the Mets last year. But I will say I would feel better about your chances if you were on the American League side. The AL is way weaker than the National League. The NL is very tough with these playoff caliber teams. I think the Padres are absolutely going to be in the mix. I will not be surprised if they miss the playoffs. I will not be surprised if they make it.
Yeah, it's a crowded field.
That's a fair answer.
It's a very fair answer. It's a crowded field. All right, we don't have a time to get back to you.
Okay,
so I'll ask him about the.
You take my great question.
Yes, I'm quelled over here, so I'm in good shape. The balls and strikes thing, you've loved it. I gotta say, as an old curmudgeon, I haven't hated it, but I wish it didn't happen.
What? You have hated this thing?
No, I haven't hated it.
You said, why do we need to be perfect?
That's what I said. I don't think we need it.
But we don't with this system.
But with this, I haven't actually hated the actual procedure that's taking place before my eyes. Matt, you're good with it, yes?
So, okay, when they first started talking about, when people refer to it as robot umps, and they tried it in the league. Is it the Atlantic? No, it's one of the leagues that the Major League Baseball. It's not affiliated with Major League Baseball. It's an independent league, but they try it out.
I think it might be the Atlantic. I remember
it might be. It's something like that. But they used it where every single pitch, it just told the umpire if it was a ball or strike, and he had to follow it.
Right.
I did not really like that, and we were worried about guys who can make pitches break that much, just clipping the very bottom of the front part of the strike zone was something that ends up in the dirt. There was a concern with that. So I was against that. Last year, I went to AAA Indianapolis where Paul Skeens was pitching to watch, and I saw Yasmani Grandal twice challenge a 3-2 count where he thought he walked, and both times the ABS system within about 3 seconds showed that he was wrong and it was actually strike 3. And I was like, this is amazing because it's not every single pitch. It's just not going to the dugout where, remember the first year of replay, how horrible it was when the managers would walk out on the field and take forever and see if they wanted to challenge it. It was horrific to watch. This is right away, catcher, hitter, or pitcher. Right away, just your gut feeling is that's a miss at a big spot, so I'm going to tap my head. And they're limited. That's the key. It can't be to the point where it was where Chris said, we don't have to be perfect. Well, you don't, but this isn't striving for perfection. It's each team gets 2, and you're probably going to keep those in the holster for the late innings because if there's nobody on base in the 5th inning of a 4-run game, why would you waste it? Yeah. But if the bases are loaded in the bottom of the 8th and it's tied and the umpire misses a pitch that's a foot outside and calls strike 3, all of a sudden you tap your head and that gets fixed and that's a ball. Now you walk in a run, and now that mattered. That swung the game. So we have the ability to fix game-altering calls that would be living in infamy, basically. And I would have to think, I've obviously never officiated at a high level, but I used to do high school football. On the times that we went back and watched videos, and I saw that I missed a call, it is a heart-sinking, just horrible feeling. You never want to be the person that costs somebody something by an honest mistake. This is just another avenue to fix an honest mistake. And honestly, it's so hard for umpires these days because the pitcher's stuff is so good and they're supposed to know the strike zone within, a centimeter? Come on, man, with a naked eye. I don't mind giving them a little help in the late innings.
So how long before baseball agrees with you and, says, okay, next season. Okay.
Yeah. I think that since it in the spring, There's only been Max Scherzer who complained about it, but he complains about everything.
We've talked about him a lot in this whole complaint.
Yeah, he really does. He complains about every aspect of everything. So that doesn't even move the needle. So I think that they're seeing one of the big ones is when the pitcher misses a spot, but it ends up in the strike zone and the umpire gets fooled because the catcher was set up way outside and he missed in, but it was still a strike.
Right.
The very first one fixed that. That's still a strike. The batter doesn't know exactly where the catcher is set up and know the pitcher missed a spot. You just took a pitch right down the middle. That's a strike. I don't care if the pitcher missed a spot.
It's good. Hey, you know what?
Are you quelling him again?
No, Skraby's right. I hate the idea that we can't ever make a mistake because the world is not, perfect.
It's not.
But when Matt's
and that's
describing,
why I was always against full on every single pitch.
Yeah, when Matt's describing with the head tap 2 times a game, I can live with that. Because I still remember Cronenworth struck out in a bases loaded one night, 9th inning on a pitch in the other batter's box. And that was 2 years ago. So it didn't happen that often, but that would have been a nice time to have it.
And you get so mad at the umpire,
yeah.
But man, it's really hard to judge those things within the accuracy they're expected to have. But it's human nature. You get mad at the umpire. That's why I'm like, I'm sure they would like if they missed it to get bailed out by that challenge.
Yeah, agreed. You know what I like? Matt, you're so nice to us to come on as often as you do, but what I appreciate is that you really enjoy talking to the fans out there.
You do.
And I really I just want to let you know. I appreciate that.
That's
I can hear
about
it.
the best compliment anybody could give me. That's what I care about the most.
Well, I just, thanks because, you don't just come on and answer the questions. You're enthusiastic. You're into it. You're trying to inform our listeners. I know they appreciate it. I know I do.
You need to come to San Diego so A, we can take you to a Padres game, and B, you can come in studio with us for an hour.
Padres
game.
I
agree.
You don't think he can get into the game on his own?
With Chris and Tony before at the winter meetings I came in you guys' booth.
Oh yeah, yes, you were there. Yes, I meant like in studio in our humble abode.
We want you on our home turf.
Yes.
All right,
Matt. Thanks, buddy.
Soon.
Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Take care, Matt's.
I turned off
my own mic. Matt Snyder. Boop. Yeah, that was not what I meant to do.
This
All
is
right.
a test of the
Oh my
emergency alert
goodness.
system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Who is that? The FCC that plays that emergency sounder in our ear?
I don't know.
At the end of an hour, almost it seems like every day.
There's not much that really makes me...
You get rankled when that happens.
Well, because
sure.
It needs to tell me, and I don't... Adam, if you're listening, this is a me thing because I should be looking at the calendar, but I don't. So ultimately, it's my fault.
It catches us by surprise every single time when they play the emergency alert. But at least we were done with our guest, Matt Snyder.
Well, it only happens when I hit the button.
And I wasn't kidding around about Matt Snyder. He really enjoys speaking to all of you. And you can tell just in the way he does the interview. And that's important. So we really appreciate him coming on with a little baseball update there for you. And I'm not just saying that you should read Matt Snyder's stuff.
Yeah.
On CBS Sports. He's well connected.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of a Padre guy. You know, like we've had him on for 3 or 4 years. He's always very high on the Padres, whereas a lot of national guys really don't even know the Padres are there. Like it's all about the Dodgers and, the Padres are the stepchild. Matt Snyder doesn't feel that way.
Matt Snyder's also a guy.
Appreciate that.
There's some guests that I've texted in the past where the Padres aren't very good and I don't get a response. And then when the Padres become good, I do get a response. And Matt Snyder has always been the guy to come on regardless.
Well, we appreciate that. And I hope you enjoyed that. At some point during the show, we've got another few hours here. You're going to have a chance to win 2 tickets to see Kane Brown. He's coming up at Pechanga Arena on March 13th. So that's only 8 days away. Limited tickets remain at access.com. That's AXS.com. Do you want to play the little sounder that the people have to listen for? Don't call now.
Thank you.
But the next time you hear this,
put some miles on it. Back of the Chevy with the engine running.
You see my head banging over
you're
here?
liking this music. Yeah,
I do. I like that song.
It's a little catchier than Alanis Morissette, I must say.
Oh, wait. I got one of that.
Oh, God, you're ready.
I listened to Alanis the entire way home last night. It was great.
You are ready for your Alanis moment there. Very good.
This is my favorite prize we've ever given out for Chris vs. the Fans.
Oh, yeah,
for some reason.
And we're giving 2 of them today because we did not have a winner yesterday.
That's a great point.
I don't know how you're going to do that.
I don't either.
But Chris vs.
You ought to know, Chris, how I'm going to do that.
Is she just going to interrupt me like all year now? Every time I'm saying something, Alanis is going to...
I will apply liberally.
Every time I'm thinking of what to say, I have a feeling that's how it's going to go.
Perfect.
Oh boy! All right, so listen, not for that, but the Kane Brown song.
We did throw a lot of sounders,
and we'll play the Kane Brown song between now and 6 o'clock, probably a little earlier. So stick around to win those. Our biggest fan will be announced at about 5:30. Just a quick couple of headlines before we get to the Daily Gambit. Padres do fall once again to the Rockies in spring training. 4-3 was the final. Padres are 3-9. I'm just saying, in case you're wondering what their record is. Doesn't matter, but that's just what it is. And the Padres also sign Mets hero Jose Iglesias to a minor league contract. If he makes the team, $3 million plus $1 million more in incentives.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Iglesias had a unbelievable
hit
337 for New York last year. Played second base, got a ton of key hits, and helped lead the Mets to the NLCS. He's a Padre now. So put him in the mix. I will say this, we didn't necessarily fill the openings we've had with superstars, but we have brought in a ton of guys to compete for this stuff. And that's, somebody's going to win those jobs. Iglesias, Gurriel. Yeah, I guess Tyler Wade is probably in, but you know what I'm saying?
He's in.
I'm just saying. I mean, all these guys, Forrest Wall, Aggie or E-Guy, Hayward, Connor Joe.
Or Nellis.
I mean, everybody's out there and they're all Gonzalez, Oscar Gonzalez. Don't leave him out. I mean, these guys are all, vying for 2 or 3 roster spots. Whoever gets it's gonna earn it for sure.
I love it.
So,
it just feels this signing feels a lot like last year's signings of like Donovan Solano. Just a good solid, but he's better. than those guys were when they came
Donovan
in.
Solano's a better hitter than Iglesias, but Iglesias
hit 337.
Did hit 337 last year, and Iglesias can field like no other.
And that's huge.
I mean, he could play shortstop without a problem.
Yeah.
And second base and third base. And he's good at all of them.
That's huge.
All right, let's get to the Daily Gambino.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Baseball coverage on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. Before we get into it, my guy Paul on the chat, Paul Palacios, he went to a Skraby game. He said that Flea played bass on You Ought to Know.
Flea from
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay, did not know.
That's interesting. I did
That's
not know that either.
I like, me, I like trivia.
You do like trivia.
You got trivia? I'm listening.
Yes, he is.
Very
you're
good,
kind
Paul.
of sort of a music guy.
I like Alanis Morissette. I have both of her first two CDs. So
All right.
I was a fan as well. Not quite as much as you, but a fan nonetheless.
All right, let's get into it. I'm stalling a little bit because we got to talk about the Aztecs. They were 2.5-point favorites over UNLV last night. We both chose the Aztecs. I believe my quote was, I think they figured it out. And they did not figure it out. They lost by 7, 74-67.
Yeah.
If you want to hear Chris's reaction, go back to 220 and listen to that segment.
Sour indeed.
Sour
Rich
indeed.
Wayne.
Rich Wayne.
If you don't know what Rich Wayne means, listen to the 220 segment.
New Mexico -1 at Nevada last night. Chris went Nevada. I went New Mexico. New Mexico. Did New Mexico win this
They
one?
did.
Yeah, I wrote Nevada.
New Mexico wins, so they clinch at least a tie for the conference title.
That also doesn't make any sense to me.
What do you mean?
You don't get the automatic bid when you win a regular season title, but only that stupid tournament at the end of the year, which is way harder to win a regular season title than the tournament. Anyway,
New Mexico's okay. They're going to make the NCAA field either way.
All right. Auburn -4.5 at Texas A&M. You went A&M. I went Auburn, and Auburn did not look great last night. A&M won 83-72. Very convincing.
It was interesting. Bruce Pearl said after the game that Texas A&M physically dominated us. That's quite a statement, assuming, as Texas A&M's playing the number one team in the nation, and the number one team's coach says we were physically dominated.
Is that a little shot across the bow of his players?
Maybe so. Then maybe he should have said that
they were
his players were a little delusional. Yeah.
I don't think that would go as well for him with the number one team in the country.
Right. But Auburn still have a great team, but it's hard to win every game on the road.
Now, the reason you took off a little bit early last night was you had to call the game between the Aztecs women basketball team at home against Fresno State. We both chose the Aztecs. The women were 9.5-point favorites, and the women took care of business, 75-61.
Yep, they were good to us. Senior night, congratulations to I'll take a second and name them. Kim Villalobos, Adriana Quezada, Megan Fizzo, also Jaslyn Green, and finally, Callie Clark. 5 great kids. They've all graduated. They've done all the right thing. They're all taking their masters, and they play their final home game. It's a kind of an emotional night.
Totally.
We talked about it yesterday, but good for those kids. They went out with a win last night.
That is awesome.
Good for them.
Next game we did Lakers, and I believe it was the Pelicans, and the Lakers.
It was the Pels.
9-point favorites over the Pels. We both chose the Lakers, and we did the right thing. Lakers win 135-115. Now, here is another bet that we made that ended up being very close. It was Luka Doncic, points plus rebounds plus assists, -3. He was the favorite. Then LeBron, points, rebounds, assists. LeBron had 34 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists for 48 points. Doncic had 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 15 assists for 53 minus 3 equals 50. Doncic still wins, but LeBron made it very close.
Very close. Doncic had look, I thought this was not going to work this well. I don't think anybody thought of this early. He won 7 in a row, and they're crushing everyone.
Yeah.
Doncic is just having a ball, and LeBron's they're talking about LeBron's playing the best basketball of anyone in the league,
which is insane.
He's
40.
Seems like a bit of an overreaction, but I don't
know.
Don't tell Tony. Don't tell Tony.
I mean, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And that's not that's a line that he's almost doing on a nightly basis nowadays.
They're both doing it.
I know. Maybe the Lakers will end up winning a title. Man, the Mavericks fans, I don't know how they would feel about that one.
Poor Maverick fans.
Next one, Winnipeg Jets -1.5 at the Islanders. You went Jets, I went Islanders. Islanders win 3-2.
Jets have the best record in the league, but they've lost 3 in a row. So,
yes,
get with it. Jets. Jets.
Now, I want to start a new game. And I'm just going to present it, and then we'll decide whether or not we do this going forward.
All right, we'll do it in the next segment because we have to make our picks for tonight. And your new game has to do with making picks.
Yes.
So we'll get into some of that. Some of the sports action that's coming up this evening. Some good games, some good stuff to talk about. After we check traffic, Gwynn and Chris resumes.
From the 855.
Well, I'm telling you out there, this is about the most confusing game idea I think I've ever heard. So good luck out there following it. But
we've talked it out many times.
If it works, it could be fun.
It could be fun.
So stick around for that.
I completely made this up.
But first, our picks for tonight.
Oh, yes. Let me get some music.
We got some good games around the sports world. Yeah, the hardwoods and et cetera. All right. Top-ranked college basketball teams going head-to-head tonight. Number 5, Florida, is at number 7, Alabama. Alabama's favored by 3.5 points on their home court. Skraby, you're 9-4 this week.
I'm doing well this week.
You're doing well. I'll let you pick first. Alabama minus 3.5 at home.
I've been really
against Florida.
You know, I've been thinking about this a lot. Florida has done this for most of the season when their coach was accused of some pretty terrible stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And they fought through it. So I'm going to go, I think Florida is going to go deep in my bracket when we get there. I'm going to go Florida here.
Florida. I always choose these games based on which coach I hate the least. And you know that I hate the Alabama coach the most.
Nate Oates. Is that his name?
I can't stand that two-faced guy. Don't take me back to the story. What was the guy? Oh, Brandon Miller and him letting him
while
coming up with all these excuses why he should play when he was, in trouble for shooting. He didn't shoot somebody, but he was there, and the coach kept, finding little loopholes so that, his star player could play. But the Aztecs beat you anyway, Nate.
When you were gone last week, I did something called On This Day in Gwynn and Chris History. So I went back to all my different things.
Yeah.
And one of them, the topics that we talked about was Brandon Miller in 2021.
Nate Oates, don't like, I'll take Florida. UConn, minus 3.5. They're home against Marquette, the number 20 team in the nation. Marquette has fallen quite a bit, but they're still in the top 20. UConn is not ranked at all. This This is obviously an easy one, Skrabe, because I always bet against the coach
you don't
I hate the most.
There you go.
And you know I hate Dan Hurley, as should all of you. I'll take Marquette, even though I don't like them on the road.
Although I don't like Dan Hurley,
you're going
always pick against UConn, and it makes me pay.
So you're going to go UConn?
Yes.
This time.
Yes.
On the women's side, the dominant team in the Mountain West Conference, UNLV, they have won 60 of their last 62 conference games. That is sickening. One of those losses was to the Aztecs this year. Aztecs hope they can beat them again next week in the tournament. But before we get to the tournament, UNLV closes out at second place Wyoming. UNLV is favored by 5.5, Skraby. It's at Wyoming, got the altitude. Wyoming took UNLV to overtime in the first meeting, but UNLV prevailed. What's going here?
I'm going to go Wyoming.
I'm going to go Wyoming also. UNLV, this game doesn't mean anything to the standings. So I think Wyoming, keeps it close on their home court. A couple more. Actually, well, all right, I'll go fast. Cleveland Cavaliers go for their 12th win in a row, -12 at Miami Heat. I don't know what the Heat have left. Cleveland played last night. I'll take Cleveland. They just keep blowing everyone out.
I'm going to say Cleveland wins, but Miami
hangs in there. Yeah. All right. Kings versus St. Louis. Ducks at Vancouver. Which Southern California team scores more goals tonight?
I like this one.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I'm gonna go quack.
Quack.
Ducks.
Quack attack. I'll take the Kings because the Kings are a much different team at home. All right, that's it, because I want to make way for your new idea here.
Okay, let me get the music ready.
Here we go. Oh, it's a golf-themed contest.
I'm excited for this.
I bet you
I made it up in my head over the last
I'm glad
maybe
you're
week.
excited about it. Do you think anyone listening will be excited for it? Because
I
that's kind of the
hope,
key.
Because that is what we're doing this
That's
for?
the idea, is for them to enjoy it.
I think this will any sort of competition is fun.
All right, we'll see who wins. It's you versus me this weekend, and tell us what we're doing with the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Hello, friends.
Which gets underway. Where is this? Orlando?
Yeah.
This is the one Tiger Woods used to win, like, in his sleep.
I believe he won it
back
8
in the
times.
days.
I think it's tied for, or maybe Torrey Pines took the lead.
No, Torrey in this one. I think are the two that he won the
Bayhill
most.
and Torrey
he used to
retired.
just win this
He
every
won
time.
8 times.
Yeah, he won all the time.
Yeah, it was crazy. So here we go.
He's not going to win this one because he's not in it.
No, and he's not in the TGL playoffs either, Chris. So things have not been going well for Tiger Woods.
Please spare me that.
All right, so we're going to pick 4 golfers, and we have to pick in different categories. So you will get points for every correct answer that you get.
Okay.
Now, first thing we're going to pick is the winner. And if you pick the winner, you get 10 points.
So both of us are going to pick who we think is going to win the tournament.
Correct.
Which is flat out almost impossible to do.
But if you pick the winner, you probably win the competition because you get the 10 points. So you pick the winner, and then you have to pick a golfer, a separate golfer, to place in the top 10. If you place in the top 10 and you predict that correctly, you get 5 points. Then you have a top 25 golfer for 3 points, and then the dark horse, 5 points if you predict the best golfer that's higher on the odds than plus 7,000.
That's confusing.
Yes,
but
it is.
I will explain it.
Thank
you. have to pick a guy who is one of the
least likely to win,
least likely guys. And I pick one, you pick one. Of those two, who finishes higher,
correct,
that person will get 5 points.
Anybody who doesn't make the cut, you are automatically out.
Automatically out.
So,
right. So
here,
first
here we
pick the winner of the tournament.
Yes.
This is worth 10 points.
10 points.
I'm going to let you go first. It's your crazy game. By the way, Ben Higgins said he's excited, but that's a bad sign.
Why is that a bad sign, Ben?
I don't know, but it's funny.
Okay. Win, I'm going to go with a guy who's
you're
been
picking
playing.
somebody to win the tournament. I mean,
This
come
is
on.
not
You're
that crazy.
Yes, it is. You're not going to be able to do it, but go ahead.
I'm going to pick the obvious one here. And I'm going to go, and we can pick the same person.
All right, that's
Scotty
fine.
Scheffler.
You're picking Scotty Scheffler?
He won it last year.
Boy, you're going out on the proverbial limb here.
I would say that he plays this golf course is fit for his game.
Whatever.
I think that he wins this tournament.
That's such a bunch of crock, fit for his game. All of these courses are fit for all of these guys' games. Have you seen these guys play before?
Yes, but certain courses are working. Their angles, the way righties, lefties.
Oh my goodness!
Ben Higgins, tell Chris he's wrong about the golf course.
This is a total crock. You don't know any of this stuff.
Tell him he's wrong, Ben.
You know none of this. All right.
None of this.
None.
All right. So who's your winner?
Winner of the tournament? Ooh, interesting. Ludwig Oberg's been playing pretty well. I like him.
He was my next guess. Yes.
Oh. Well, in that case, I don't want to go too far down the road here. I'll just go with him.
Okay.
It's almost impossible to pick a winner, so that's 10 points. All right, what's next? We got to pick somebody to finish in the top 10.
I picked Rory McIlroy.
Oh, my God. You're such a...
You can pick anything. Rory's played this tournament 10 times, made the cut 9 times.
You just mentioned the top 2 guys in the world. I mean, you're not going out on any limb at all. This just doesn't take
You don't have to go out on a limb. I'm trying to pick the things that happen.
Fine. Top 10, I'll say Scotty Scheffler finishes in the top 10. How do you like that? Give me my 5 points for that one.
I mean, that could be an automatic 5 points.
Maybe.
By the way,
25.
Dominic says we should let Ben play. We should get on that. We might have to do this. Not in this one, but maybe going forward.
Ben, you can get in the next
morning.
time since you're so excited.
It would be fun because Ben's a golf guy.
He is a good golf guy.
Top 25.
By the way, played with both you and Ben. Ben's better than you.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
I know
so
that.
Good.
Oh,
He's
I know
so
that.
good.
I know
man,
that.
Crazy.
Ben's a walker, too, which tells you everything you need to know. Walkers are very good golfers.
All right.
My top 25 guy is Hideki Matsuyama.
All right. Hideki Matsuyama finishes in the top 25. I'm going to play your game and say that Rory McIlroy finishes in the top 25.
You're doing the Price is Right $1 more than me thing.
I mean, come on. Rory McIlroy can be in the top 25.
We're going to have to alternate next time because now every single pick I get, I have to – never mind.
All right, now we got to go the long shot who finishes where? In the top 10?
Wherever they finish.
Oh, that's right. Whoever finishes higher of our 2 long shots.
Yes. I am going to go with, for my dark horse.
And you have to be plus 7,000 or more.
And I did it because that was the middle of this tournament.
Okay, so bottom of the barrel, guys.
I didn't go too far down.
Right,
I went with I'm high on this guy. He hasn't necessarily broken through yet, but Sahith Theegala plus 8,000.
That's crazy.
For a dark horse.
That was who I was going to pick. That's
Sahith Theegala?
Yes, that's unbelievable that you would pick him. I can't pick him now because that would not make it very fun. I will go with. I'm getting.
I love it
down.
now. You're feeling the heat.
I know. That's funny that you picked him.
I love Sahith Theegala.
Well, I know you do, and that's why I was going to take him. I got to be. But all I have to do is pick somebody to finish ahead of Sahith Theegala, right?
Correct.
Then give me Max Homa.
What is he at?
He's in plus 12,000. He's way down here.
Wow.
He must be in bad form right now, but
I mean, that's a great pick.
I'll say
honestly.
Max moves up.
Plus 12,000. Max Homa is a good golfer, and he's won some tournaments.
All right, there we go. We'll see how your game works out. Ben's in it next time if he wants to be.
He hasn't messaged you back yet?
Yeah, he has. I think he was so excited that he probably, is out of the car now and doing something more important. More Gwynn and Chris is coming up. I believe it's time. Yes. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, we got some good ones.
Sports Court. Stay tuned.
Ben and Woods.
time. Chris Ellen? Tony Gwynn Jr. being the dad of the year, at least taking the early lead in that competition. Tony is accompanying his daughters down to Florida.
I don't know. I think I could be dad of the year for the way I treat
You would
Lucky.
do that? I said he's only in the running.
Oh, thank you.
But your problem is that you let your dog illegally off leash far too much to win the award. You, of all people, who is a stickler for the rules.
Lucky did.
Yet you let your own dog run around haphazardly in the neighborhood and scare middle-aged women.
The way you put it makes me sound
it's not
like
good.
But Lucky did get out of my reach the other day and did chase after a dog, but he doesn't chase to like bite. He chases and jumps and
But
wants
the
to
other
play.
dog doesn't know
I
that,
know.
nor does the owner
I
of
know.
that
And
dog.
you know what? This time, Chris, I told him, I looked Lucky in the face and the eyes, and I said, you ain't getting off the leash anytime soon, bro. You just sentence yourself to the leash.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I'm not taking it off. I didn't take it off the last couple days.
We'll see. I have one quick note before we get to today's sports court. We talked about the Aztecs falling last night in Las Vegas. They are now squarely on the NCAA tournament bubble. Guess who may not be on that bubble anymore? UCSD.
That's right.
And we've talked about them a little bit. We had Coach
Eric Olin
on a week and a half or so ago to talk about the Tritons. If you are a UCSD fan or student or somebody that wants to learn more about their basketball team, go to cbssports.com. A tremendous in-depth story on there about UCSD's team by a writer named Zachary Pereles, Pereles. Anyway, it was only posted about 3-4 hours ago. So you UCSD, if you're following that team, you want to learn more about it. And this isn't just like a couple of paragraphs, Skraby. This is an in-depth story about all the players and how they all got here and how your guy, Eric Olin, put this team together and what they've done and what they may do. So it's a good story about UCSD. They certainly deserve the attention. You want to check some traffic while you're getting your hair organized there?
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my.
You are having problems today.
My judge wig.
All right, get it ready while we do traffic, and then it's Sports Court.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, enjoy the dry roads while you can because rain is on its way. In fact, it looks like the North County is going to be getting hit first. A couple of problems along southbound 805. One is a collision right before Murray Ridge. Those vehicles are in the center divide, but looks like you get some debris to deal with in middle lanes. Then up ahead before Imperial, got an accident blocking the slow lane. Also, northbound 125, a crash near Hamishaw. That's got the right lane blocked. Northbound 15 before the 8, some sort of metal debris in the slow lane and a couple cars with flat tires over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Do you have a sports issue, San Diego? Do you need a third party to make a decision? The guys have put on their robes and picked up their gavels.
All rise. Here comes the judge.
Gwynn and Chris Sports Court starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
By the way, just finishing up on UC San Diego, their current net ranking, 35th in the country.
Wow.
Guess who's right above them at 34th? UConn. Last year's national champs.
But I thought...
And UCSD's right with them.
I thought that UConn had the best coach in college basketball.
He must be better than Eric Olin because he's one spot ahead of him.
And he's won 2 national titles.
That helps.
It does.
All right.
All right. So Sports Court, I got some good ones today. They're all from Reddit, I believe. And we're going to get right into it after this. If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla for dining or takeout options. Visit spiroscuisine.com. Also, my brain is very ADD, Chris. I like the name Hamishaw. I think that's a great road name, Hamishaw.
Kelly Danick, Hamishaw Road.
I love it.
A lot of people new to San Diego think it's Jamaica.
I can totally see that. When I moved here in 1999, I thought it was La Jolla, okay? I was 13 years old, or 14.
Yes.
Anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to try to do this with a Boston accent, but I might lose the Boston accent in the middle of it. But here's how it goes. My family is from Boston, and we are hardcore about our socks. My great uncle is causing problems from the grave. Obviously, I'm going to stop with the accent now. Obviously, we love my great uncle, but he is a Yankee fan, and he has been a Yankee fan since he was born. My mom's side of the family originally was in New York, but moved to the New England area before my mom was born. But he was 5 years old, and he couldn't shake that dirty team. He passed away last week, and there was one thing he made sure of. He wanted his Yankees hat in the casket with him. We joked with him through the years that we are going to put a Red Sox hat in there with the Yankees hat. Now that it's here, we're actually considering it. Chris, are we wrong for putting a Red Sox hat in the casket with a Yankees hat?
Get out of my courtroom. Yes, you're wrong.
What?
The guy's dying wish is to have a Yankee hat in there. And don't argue with me that he's dead. He's not going to know.
He's not going to know.
I don't want to hear it.
Why don't you want to hear it?
Because I think you should at least honor somebody's last dying wish.
I don't think it's
even if you don't agree with it.
They're going to put the Yankee hat in there.
No.
But if you joke with someone your entire life that this is going to happen, don't you think you should make it happen?
I don't. I think it's fun to joke with them during their lifetime, but now that they've passed, please give them their dying wish.
All right, I had a whole speech for this, but I don't.
Give me your whole speech.
You took it away from me. He's not going to know.
He's not going to know. I don't like that argument either.
I know you don't like that argument.
Bailiff, escort this terrible human being out of my courtroom.
The only thing
he wants to bury his dead uncle with a Red Sox hat when the uncle hated the Red Sox.
Like,
that's
what
a terrible thing to do.
Like, if my family put a Seahawks hat in there with me, I wouldn't know the difference because I'm not going to know.
How do you know you wouldn't know the difference, number one? Number two, you of all people should respect the occult because you believe in all this weird stuff.
I do. And
all right, if you believe in it, then you know that the uncle may wake up one day and see a Red Sox hat in there with him.
You know what? If there is an afterlife and I knew that they put a Seahawks hat in my casket, Chris, I would haunt them for the rest of their lives. That would be my thing.
So haunt them anyway.
All right, we're split on this one, but the chat is with you, so we're going to go with that. Next one, and I'll be up first on this one. My son just turned 17, and he is a really good golfer and getting better. I'm a 3 handicap myself, and he's probably an 8 or 9 handicap. I love that we can share time golfing with each other, but there's one dynamic that is changing between us. Our competitive natures are coming out, and I have to say I'm kind of ashamed of something I did recently. I was having an awful day off the tee and was playing terribly. My son was playing great. Here's the thing. He has never beat me straight up, only when I give him a few shots here and there. So we were on 18, an easy hole, 395-yard par 4 over a little water. It's not really that easy of a hole.
It's an easy hole.
395 par 4 over some water.
I don't
is
care
not
who
easy.
you are. I've not heard of an easy hole. I've never seen one personally.
That's not an easy hole. But anyway, for a 3 handicap, that's an easy hole, I guess.
All right.
But going over water, mostly not a big deal, though. My son hit it left and was right in the area where the water was ending, and we couldn't see where he ended up. So we headed up there, and since it was in some long grass, we couldn't find it. But after a minute, I did find it, and here is where I am ashamed. I
found his ball in the rough.
I used my foot to roll his ball into the water. I let 30 seconds go by. And then said, "Hey, is this your ball?" Pointing into the water.
Wow.
My son looks in, sees it's his. Says, "Wow, okay,
that's a
I win."
Two-stroke penalty.
Two-stroke penalty.
Or whatever, yeah.
He ended up unraveling and ended up getting a 9 on the hole, and this allowed me to win by 2.
Wow.
Do I tell him about this? My answer, no. Do not tell him about this. You keep thinking that you're better than, or you let him think that you're better than him because he's going to beat you soon if he's an 8 or 9 handicap. Now, one day, yes, tell him about this. Remember that time that you hit it into the rough and we found your ball in the water? Yeah, I actually kicked it in the water. I think that will be a funny joke down the line. Don't do it right now. But what you did, Father, is shameful. This is shameful.
I cannot believe you're telling him you're like giving him reason not to say anything. The reason I would tell him not to say anything is because he's such a jerk that by saying something, it's only going to make him feel better. I want the father to have to live with this quietly and painfully on his own. Because he knows damn well what he did. He knows damn well that his son should have beat him. He only beat his son by 2 shots. The son got a 9 because you kicked his ball in the water. You live with that. You own it. You go to bed each night and you wake up with that, and you don't get to share it with anybody else, pal. That is your sentence from me.
Man,
you are sentenced
upset about this.
Damn right. You are sentenced to hell in your own head for not, for doing this. What an embarrassment as a 3 handicap to the game of golf. Skraby, you tell me all the time, this is the greatest sport where they all respect the rules.
Of
and we
course.
do things.
That's why I said it's shameful.
Right. A 3 handicap of all things. Oh, I can't believe this guy did this. And I'm going to say one last thing to this guy. I hope he's a lifelong Yankee fan, because when he dies, I'm going to have his son bury him with a Red Sox helmet. There.
That's rude, Chris. That's rude.
Sorry.
Who would ever do that?
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Padres diehard says, boost your kid's confidence, not your own. It's pretty good.
Yeah, very good. It's really pathetic. That is pathetic, sir. And you don't get to tell your son. That's your private pain and your sentence from this court. You don't get to tell him. You have to live with it. The guilt all on your own. You don't get to laugh over a beer about it. You just have to live with it and wonder whether what you did was, fair or foul play, and you know damn well it was foul play.
I mean, wow. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It's a big deal.
It's not that big of a deal if the son never knows, but I accept your punishment, Chris, which is this person will have to sit with this the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
I remember
you don't get to share it over a beer.
I remember way back when I was like maybe 12 or 13 years old, and I was golfing with my uncles, and I hit one, went out of bounds, clearly went out of bounds, but I claimed it didn't go out of bounds. I claimed I found the ball. My uncles let me think I was,
but they knew.
Yeah. And it sat with me for a long time until I had to say something, because golf is that type of game.
When you cheat and you get found out, that hurts.
This one's messed up. Gonzo says, hopefully mom cheated too, and it's not his real dad. All right, next one.
Wait a minute. Who is that?
Gonzo. He said tisk tisk.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. My 9-year-old son is not athletic, and I blame his mom for that. I wasn't a great athlete, but I did play low-level college baseball. He's never been interested in sports, and although that does hurt a bit, I still care about his happiness and have done things with him I never thought I would do. Science camp, trips to the aquarium, and when we went to Houston, we had to go to the Space Center. In the last month or so, my wife has said she thinks it might be a good idea to get him involved in sports to make friends outside of his comfort zone. We told him he could do anything he wanted, and then he hit me with a quote-unquote sport I have never even heard of. Men's artistic swimming, or basically men's synchronized swimming. Okay. My wife checked. There is a pool in the area that does this. I am not so sure about this, and I want to steer him somewhere else. Chris, should I voice my opinion to him?
Nope. Shush. It's your kid. This is what he wants to do. Go take him, do it. What's the big deal? It's your problem. I mean, is this something that's affecting you in any way?
Embarrassment of his own.
Embarrassment. If you're going to be embarrassed of your own kid, I mean, if they become a musician, an artist, a dancer,
your son might become the next gold medal men's
You
swimmer.
probably shouldn't have had a kid in the first place if you thought you might be embarrassed about what they grew up to be. I'm not going to even budge on this one at all.
No. I think you don't voice your opinion to him. You wait for it to be something where he doesn't like it anymore. And if he likes it, then hey, you found something that he can do that doesn't involve science. And you
how about the kid doesn't like what you do, pal? These people are this is one shameful human being after another, 3 in a row.
I told you.
Line them up.
Yeah,
line these guys up,
or
gals, or whoever it is. Jeez,
I can't co-sign on the dad saying anything to this kid about how it's. I don't know. I can only imagine him saying this is not manly, or I don't know. This is not good. You should let him do what he wants to do. And if he becomes good at it, then hey, you got a meal
But who's
ticket.
to say it's not manly? Have you ever tried to synchronize swim in a pool?
Yeah, it's
good
not,
luck.
it's
You don't
not
get
easy.
to stand up.
I know.
You got to tread water and pull off all those exercises.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
You know, you want to say that ballet is not manly? I'd like to see somebody stand on their toes for 2.5 hours and spin around.
You know, Jerry Rice.
Please. You're right. Jerry Rice was a ballet guy.
He was a ballet guy. And when I was growing up, I said, no, ballet is for girls. And my dad goes, hey, Jerry Rice does ballet every offseason.
Honestly, I hope we've evolved a little since then.
We have.
Apparently not, because you're sitting there thinking that the dad should say that the sport's not manly.
No, I did not say that. I said that he should let his kid do this. All right, we need
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, it's a quick one, but it's a good one.
Is it worth it? I mean, after all these other idiotic ones?
It's not anything like a family involvement here. I guess, okay, anyway. My boyfriend is an idiot for 2 reasons. 1, he's a Jets fan. 2, he named our dog something stupid, and I insisted we not name it what he wanted. But we did, and now we are stuck. Being a huge Jets fan, we got the dog right around the time that Robert Saleh was hired as head coach. So we named our lab puppy Saleh. Well, now he's been fired and my boyfriend wants to change it. I told him
change the name.
I told him that would be mean to change our dog's name after years of it being Saleh.
How many years? Maybe sounds like 4.
Well, when was Robert Saleh hired? That's when 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
So I'm up first. We keep the name or you change it. You keep the name. That's so messed up to just all of a sudden call the dog something else because you don't want to call it Saul. I think Saul is kind of a cool name for a dog. I'm fine with Saul for the name of a dog. But next time, don't name it after your favorite team. I almost named my dog Harbaugh when I almost got one way back when. Guess what? Glad I didn't do that, Chris, because Harbaugh went the other way. So I say you have to keep the name. This would be messed up to change.
We got a cat during Michael Jordan's retirement. And being a big Bulls fan, I wanted to name the cat MJ.
Okay.
But Jordan was not on the team at the time, so we named the cat Pippen, and we stuck with Pippen.
Ugh.
And Pippen was a great name for 20 years, and Pippen was a great cat.
Okay.
So you stick with Saleh, and you don't worry about it, and you try not to make the connection to the player or the coach. It wasn't that difficult to see my cat Pippen and not really think of Scottie Pippen. Pippen became in fact, Pippen was a girl cat. Still named Pippen. Didn't matter.
I just got a text from someone saying, what if you adopt a dog? Can you change their name?
From what it was?
I think that's still mean.
I think that's fair.
I think unless it's something offensive.
I think it's fair.
If a dog is 8 years old and its name's been Cinnamon for 8 years, you can't change the name.
You know what dogs hear when you're talking to them?
No, they can. Oh, I learned this the other day. Dogs can learn up to 300 words. 300 words.
Yeah.
They know more than you think they do. They know more than you think they do.
My dog knows maybe 3 words. Kylie, her name, dinner, and breakfast. One more, treat. The only thing she responds to in any way.
My dog's it's touch. Like, because when I say touch, they're supposed to come back and get their treat because they're supposed to touch my hand.
Oh, well.
That's what Petco taught me when I took them to dog school.
Whatever leads you to the treat, they will learn that.
But they can learn up to 300 words, Chris. You should maybe expand Kylie's horizons a bit. Have her talking about quantum theory.
You'll believe absolutely anything.
I believe that. You don't believe that? Dogs are a lot smarter than you think they are.
Yeah, your dog plays in dog poop. That's how smart your dog is.
Dominic makes a good point, and I know we got to go. If a dog is getting adopted after 8 years, they're just going to care that you actually adopted them.
Chris versus the fans. We'll try that next.
Padres Guardians.
By the way, as we start the 4 o'clock hour, that Max Muncy sucks comment is always taken out of context the way it's now presented. The day I said it, it was because he had kicked around like 14 ground balls in one game.
Yes.
And that's what I said, Max Muncy sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't really mean that I don't like him. I didn't mean, well,
Why
I
are
don't
you
like
backtracking?
him. I don't like him either. I don't like him either.
It's been playing for like 2 years.
Yeah, I know it has. Because I just was thinking, somebody listened. Well, why did he just like totally attack Max Muncy? You know what I mean? I don't like any of the Dodgers, to be honest with you. So they're all kind of in that category. But Max Muncy took my wrath. But he only took it because he couldn't pick up a ground ball. That was the reasoning behind it. 4:01 now. Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ella, Matt Skraby, together in our Odyssey Palace studios. Tony in Florida, attending a 5-day soccer tournament. Tony, my thoughts are with you, pal. That's a lot of soccer, a lot of kicking the ball around, but he loves it. His kids are great at it. And
Florida's wonderful this time of year.
Being an excellent dad. Is it now?
I think so.
I must tell you that I don't find Florida to be an attractive place to go. A lot of people love Florida.
Sorry to Matt on our chat, who's
Is he from Florida?
Guy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Matt, you tell me. How's the humidity treatment?
He's going to tell you that Florida stinks, but he's from Florida.
Okay. I mean, the humidity in Florida is disgusting. And the rest of the year, there's hurricanes. So I don't really see the draw.
And there's alligators.
Alligators.
Seriously.
You're right.
There was a golf at the golf tournament last week at the Honda Classic, or it's not the Honda anymore. It's called the Cognizant or whatever.
All right.
I think it was Billy Horschel who had to kind of
got eaten by a
he had an alligator and he kind of had to use his golf club to poke it.
Billy Horschel,
which I don't think you should poke an alligator with a golf club.
Under the category of dogs know 300 words.
Yes, they do.
I've heard that alligators don't bite. Only crocodiles do. But that's wrong because some lady got eaten by an alligator or something.
I know.
A while ago.
They for some reason the police released the pictures too. It's like
apparently this lady thought the alligators didn't bite either until they bit her.
Hey, guess what? I'm not going anywhere near either an alligator or a crocodile.
You're not going to get close enough to find out. Smart thinking, Skrabe. All right, we got Chris versus the Fan, but we don't have any players. So we're going to need
We do.
Oh, is
your
board?
thing not working again?
Yeah.
All
so
right.
okay, we got players. All right, we're good to go.
Yes.
833-288-0973. I think the only way to do this, Skrabe, is we set sail here early and try to get 2 different winners today.
Okay.
Because we didn't get a winner yesterday. We got the Alanis Morissette tickets to give away, trip to Vegas, Chris versus the Fans. Let's go.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself.
Howdy do.
I hit the wrong button.
What happened?
I hit the button to stop it instead of.
Oh, that's good enough. All right, let's just play ball.
Okay.
Let's just play ball.
All right,
we know the rules.
You have
give
to
us the rules.
Through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that question for free, or the first question for free. Let me slow down a little bit. And if you win, you will be qualified for 2 tickets to Alanis Morissette at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace on October 24th, 2-night hotel stay, October 23rd through the 25th at Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas.
Can you remind everybody? I wanted you to remind everybody what she sings. People now know.
All right, let's get started with our first contestant today. Let's go to Let's go, Tyler.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, I don't know what that was, but Tyler, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hi, Tyler.
My son from school, and he just got in the car.
Okay.
Good deal.
Tell your son hello.
Tyler's a solid listener, as is Tyler's son.
All right. You ready, Tyler?
Yep, ready to go.
Okay.
Let's play.
What position does Bryce Harper primarily play?
It's a tricky question, actually.
Vaughn says first base.
Well, you should listen to your son because that is correct.
Yeah, but he played right field for like 5 years.
Yeah, but he doesn't play there anymore.
Well, you didn't say what position does he play
primarily
now.
Play.
But you didn't say now.
But he primarily plays first base.
Now. But in his career.
He got it right. We're moving on.
Yeah, move on.
Okay, question number 2. What active NFL quarterback also owns a part of the Milwaukee Bucks?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is correct. Here we
I
go.
did not know that.
You didn't?
No.
No, he was part of it.
I don't care about any Aaron Rodgers news.
Okay. Question number 3.
Real quick before you move on.
What?
In his career, I don't have time.
Okay.
Bryce Harper, 947 games in right field, only 179 at first base.
He primarily
Sounds like he
first
primarily
base.
plays right field.
What did he play in 2024?
Then say base. That when you ask the question.
All right, Tyler.
Get the question right.
Who did the Atlanta Hawks draft with their number 1 overall pick in 2024?
The Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah, who did they draft with their number 1 pick in 2024?
God. Tyler?
This is not easy.
No idea.
Why would you even ask the Atlanta Hawks? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why you asked the Atlanta Hawks. Because they had the number 1 pick in the draft. That's why you asked.
Yeah, I said, who did the Atlanta Hawks draft with their number 1 overall pick in 2024?
Yes, with their number 1 overall pick, but he was also the number 1 overall pick.
Oh, same thing.
It is not the same thing. A lot of teams have a number 1 pick.
Goodness.
Zachary Resacher from
what?
France.
You know that?
Yes, he was the number 1 overall pick.
I'm sorry, Tyler. I am really sorry. But that is correct. I cannot believe that.
I happen to know the number 1 overall pick is. I haven't heard from him since the day of the draft. Have you? Resacher.
No. I don't know. No. I didn't hear anything.
Wasn't a good pick.
Let's go to Bill. Hello, Bill.
Well, 2 of the first.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Well, we're okay, Bill. But just so you know, 2 of the first 3 questions have been faulty. So
they
be
have
on your
been
toes.
Faulty, actually,
be on your toes.
Take a little reading and listening comprehension.
What?
What did you say, Bill?
Yeah, well, he said what's new.
What's new?
Right. When I said the questions are faulty, he said
all right,
what's
we're
new.
We're going to go to another contestant. Let's go
No, you can't do that. Can't do that. Bill is on.
Fine, Bill. You're back.
Let's go, Bill.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. What player won the Heisman Trophy last year?
Faulty question.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say Daniels because I don't know who it is.
Jaden Daniels, he said.
Yeah.
He didn't win it.
No.
God, I can't even remember.
Are you
last
serious?
Year? No, I can't remember.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like waiting for you to say the answer.
I told you the best questions to ask me are new stuff. I don't put it in the bank. I have to pass. I don't even have an answer. Who was it?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Was it like a month ago?
It was
I'm not
in
ready.
December.
Yeah, no, I haven't put it in my collection yet.
I can't. I guess I can't be too hard on you.
That's how I am. Like you asked me 1969 Heisman winner, I give you that one, but I can't give you this year's.
All right.
That's good for you, Bill. You move on.
Here we go, Bill. Question number 2.
All right. Travis Hunter, huh?
Since we talked about Max Muncy has played for 2 teams in his major league career. The Dodgers and what other team?
Oakland A's.
Wow, nice job.
Yeah.
Huge Max Muncy fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris.
No, it's good. Oh, you like Max Muncy. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like him too when he's playing defense against the Padres.
Okay, here we go. Which Padres player tripled yesterday against the Giants?
Boy, I didn't listen to the game. I was working, so I'll just say Merrill. I have no idea.
You're correct!
You got it!
Wow!
Bill with the win.
Bill, I almost hung up on you and you ended up winning.
Had to go, Bill. All right, put him on hold and let's
Bill,
try to get another
there.
winner.
You got to stay there, Bill.
Don't everybody hang up. We're going to try to get a second winner today. Bill is the first.
Yep.
We have another Alanis Morissette prize and the trip to Vegas. So, Bill, stay there. On we go, Skrabe. Good job, Bill, by the way.
Let's go to Eli.
Hello, all right, Eli, you're on. Hi, Eli.
Hey.
All right, you ready to play, Eli?
I'm ready.
Okay. Which of Deion's sons is expected to be drafted in this year's first round of the NFL draft?
Deion Sanders.
No. Which one of his sons?
Which one of his sons is going to be drafted?
Shador.
I was going to say the older one. That wouldn't have.
That would be
qualified.
Shiloh.
Oh, is he older?
I believe Shiloh's older, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
All right. Eli moves on to round 2.
The last 2 number 1 overall picks in the NBA have come from what country?
France.
Yeah,
France is correct.
Very good. Wembayama and
Rashir. Richard or whatever. What's the guy's name from UNLV?
I said Risacher, but I don't think I don't know if that's close.
No one actually knows his real name. Hold on. I got to update a question real quick. So give me a second to make sure I have the right numbers in front of me. And then we will get to your third and final question, Eli. All right, here we go. Question number 3. There are 2 players on the Padres tied for the most hits in spring training. Name both.
Name both.
Sorry, say that again?
Name them both. Yes.
Yeah, name both. Yes.
Oscar Salad and Tirso.
You went Tirso and Oscar.
That is correct.
Give it to him.
Wow. Under pressure of the clock, too. Eli, stay right there. Bill, stay right there.
Got 2 winners today. Congrats to both Bill and Eli.
This worked out so well.
Well, you listen to me, I'll take you to heights you've never reached before.
Stop.
All right, we get to traffic. We're all caught up. Everything's good. Skraby wants to talk about something. Oh, no, you don't. You already did it. Never mind.
What did I talk about?
You got the golf game.
Oh, yeah. No,
which we're still working on tweaking the rules, by the way.
Yes, we're going to have a game.
We didn't like the original rules. Ben Higgins had some complaints, and I agreed with him.
There's a Union Tribune article that I put in the doc that we'll talk about.
Oh, something that is must reading in the UT. You're right. We'll tell you about it after traffic.
From the
Gwynn and Chris. 4:19 is the time. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Skraby. Skraby's got the Chronicles coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. He'll kick me out of the studio.
It's my favorite part of the day.
To his, yeah, no kidding. My favorite part of the day too.
When you leave,
it's kind of interesting that it worked out that way. Scrape.
Last night, Chris, I went on a bunch of rants. It was rant after rant after
you were
rant
rolling last
after
night?
rant. Yeah. So I hope not to rant as much tonight.
Well, you've learned from the master of rants.
You?
Me, yeah.
You do some pretty good rants, I have to say.
All right, here we go on something that I saw in the paper today. As everybody knows, Skraby makes fun of me. I'm the only guy in my neighborhood and maybe the only person out there that still subscribes to the newspaper.
Here, paper boy, go and deliver your one paper.
He's got to come out of his way to deliver one paper in our neighborhood every day, and I feel bad for him. But I like having a tangible piece of paper in my hand when I sit down for my breakfast. And like to read.
See, I actually don't mind that. I
that's the reason.
If the paper is there, I will read the paper as I'm drinking coffee or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, I find it to be more comfortable than looking in my phone while I'm eating breakfast to have a paper there. But anyway, that's why we get the paper. Yeah. I saw a headline today on Tom Krasovic's article in the UT. The headline was, "Expect strong attendance figures to again push the Padres toward the postseason." Listen to it again. Expect strong attendance figures to again push the Padres toward the postseason. What I heard or read or understood while reading that was the fact that we have a good crowd at Petco Park is going to help the Padres go to the postseason. And my first thought was, huh? But then I read the article. And I got to tell you.
So you didn't just read the headline?
No, I've moved on. I read the article.
Well, that's a good thing, Chris.
Yes, if I had just read the headline, I kind of been walking around all day going, huh? But I read the article. And Tom Krasovic is on point in this article.
Okay.
And I have to give him, credit for coming up with the way to present this in a very understandable and meaningful way. Here's what he means by the crowds at Petco Park are going to help the Padres toward the postseason.
Okay.
First of all, nothing's guaranteed. You can't guarantee they'll be in the postseason. And he's not saying that, but he's saying that they have a good shot. Why? Because they get good crowds is one big reason.
I agree.
And if you think about it in that regard, the fact that the Padres have finished the last 4 years in Major League Baseball attendance, 3rd, 2nd, 5th, and 3rd. Top three of the last 4 years in all of baseball, and the other year they were 5th. The fact that they've done that is what has, in part, boosted the organization to be able to spend more money to get better players. So, yes, the crowd does have a lot to do with the Padres' success. And here is the other point that Krasovic made that needs to be repeated to a lot of you out there, because you and I and Tony, when he's here, are constantly defending this point.
Okay.
The point that a lot of people make is, they raise the ticket prices and the payroll keeps going down or going up or down.
Down.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's actually not.
All right, let me say it again. Here's the complaint because I want to get it right.
That's a Matt Skraby sentence. Right
I know.
There.
The complaint is they raise the ticket prices and the payroll is going down. So what's up? But here's the truth. The payroll is going up $38 million this year alone. And here are more specifics. In the last 4 years, the payroll of the Padres in baseball, 6th, 7th, 5th, and 3rd. They're in the top 7. There's 30 teams. The Padres are not in the top 7 in terms of market size, but their payroll is.
Wow.
And that is, again, what is helping them. Here is one last comparison that Tom makes in the article. And Kraz, great stuff here. The other teams that have a small market size, along with the Padres, okay, down near the bottom in the National League, along with the Padres in small market size, are Rockies, Marlins, Cardinals, Pirates, Reds, Brewers. Of those teams, the Padres spend $59 million more than the Cardinals, going all the way up to $137 million more than the Marlins.
The Marlins are a joke.
I know, but my point is, of the teams that compare to the Padres, they spend far more than any of those other similar market teams.
They're the leader in the pack of the smaller market teams.
It's not even close.
Yeah, not even close.
So that is the article. If you want to read it, find out a little bit more about it, it's in the UT today, or I'm sure you can find it online. Tom Krasovic wrote it. And as I said, I read the headline. I was like, but I read the story, and it makes a lot of sense. You people out there have helped make this a solid club. And, the ownership started by Peter Seidler, carried on once they get through all of these issues. I'm sure they've given us a pretty good thing here. And I don't think we take the time to appreciate it enough.
We don't.
We complain about it a lot.
We do. I think now that they've spent some more money and they've brought in some more guys, we're kind of seeing things. But over the offseason, it was tough to watch all the teams in division get better. But like you said, we have to remember they already had the core. They didn't necessarily need to spend a ton of money. When I go down in the clubhouse and when I get the guts to go talk to a player. And you don't say
hi to anybody?
I was going to say, when I go get the guts to actually go up to a player and talk to them, I do ask them about the fans. And if, off the record, do the fans really help you guys? And every single one says absolutely, because when they're tired and it's a Wednesday or a Tuesday night against the A's and they got 45,000 fans in the stadium, it brings them up. So I buy this 100%.
There's also one more thing that Kraz did not get into in the article, but it's along the same lines of what you just said. If you ask media people around the country,
true,
and if you ask other teams in the league, what is the best atmosphere in baseball? Petco Park finishes right up there every time.
Visiting players even talk about it.
If not, first. I mean, I've heard first many times. People say, no, Petco Park is the best atmosphere in baseball, period.
There's a couple writers around the country that have told us they only go to the San Diego road trip.
Well, all right. So you guys get a lot of credit out there. Well done. And, well done by the organization that we still complain about a lot. I brought this up many times. You go back in the history of the Padres, 60 years now, 1969, 55 years, right? You find me a better 5-year stretch than the one they just had. Go ahead.
I can't.
You find it, let me know. All right. So anyway, read the article, check it out. Might give you a little different perspective on how you look at things.
It's still hard, but when I see the numbers in front of my face, it makes it easier.
Let the stuff marinate for a minute, Skraby.
Okay. All right.
My
Little
goodness.
teriyaki sauce.
Yes, let it marinate. Think it over before you speak.
Okay. That's not good.
I know. Here comes the Big Five next on Gwynn and Chris. All right, early evening check of the scoreboard. Big one in college hoops tonight. Florida at Alabama. Right now, Florida 27, Alabama 26. Speaking of close games, Cavs going for their 12th straight win, lead Miami 26-25. First quarter. Pretty much it. Lakers are idle tonight. Clippers are home to Detroit. How's it all worked out at the new home of the Clippers? You haven't heard a lot about that, Skraby.
I think it's been going really well.
Rousing success.
People like the fan wall. People like the atmosphere of the place.
All right.
I should have gone to a game, or I should go to a game this year. I don't know if I'm going to make it now.
I doubt you will, unless they offer you free transportation.
The transportation I'll take care of. Give me parking and tickets.
And a meal. You like a meal.
Yeah, give me,
You're a freeloader. You got to have your meal.
Freeloaded.
Yes, sir.
So
all right, Gwynn and Chris, Tony in Florida with his daughters doing a little soccer dad stuff. Padres lose to the Rockies today, 4-3 in spring training. Fall to 3-9. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
But good news for the Padres, I think. Skraby agreed with me, so do most of our listeners. Infielder Jose Iglesias, 35 years old, signed today by the Padres to a minor league contract. Iglesias last year was one of the heroes for the New York Mets' late season run to the NLCS. He now is a Padre potentially. All right, with that, we'll check.
You say potentially because it's still reportedly, but Mike Schilt, literally.
No, but when I say potentially, he's got to make the team. That's what I mean.
All right.
No, he's here. He's there.
Okay.
He's a minor league deal to make the team. Then it gets a $3 million.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying potentially.
Okay,
he has to make the team.
All right.
Check traffic, and then hit me with a big five, which has Kevin Durant losing his cool among other things.
Oh, did he? We'll find out, Chris.
Okay.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Got some rain hitting parts of the North County and more on its way, so you need to factor that into your drive. Give yourself extra time this afternoon. Fortunately, no accidents to mention, but possible brush or encampment fire on southbound 5 near Garnett exit. That's over to the right shoulder. Also some smoke visible, possibly coming from the riverbed, Mission Gorge Road at the northbound 125. Stop by into the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Oil Change Centers. You don't have to get out of your car, and it usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we got a lot to go over here, Chris, in the Big Five, but let's start with this. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Popeyes. Let Popeyes do the fishing while you enjoy our delicious seafood. Come in today for Popeyes Shrimp Tackle Box or our Flounder Fish Sandwich in classic or spicy. Get them before they're gone. Legal for a limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Okay, let's get started with the person you just talked about, Chris.
Number 5.
Reported Padre Jose Iglesias. Now, apparently...
he is a Padre. It's just he hasn't made the big league team yet.
Apparently, OMG is a song that he made in 2024, and he performs it under the stage name Candelita. The song debuted, Chris, at number 1 on the Billboard Latin Digital Song Sale chart, which is pretty crazy, I gotta say.
Jose Iglesias, maybe he is related to Enrique Iglesias.
Possibly.
The rest of those guys.
Well, I'm going to put this onto the stream right now because we have a little bit of Jose Iglesias doing his thing last year.
You got the video?
I got the video of him singing after a game one day.
The OMG thing took over New York, man. It was
did.
the biggest deal in town for a couple of months. There he is.
Huge deal. Wait, where did it go?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I found it. Here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
Here is the song.
Oh my God. There it is. OMG.
I'm into this. This is good stuff.
God.
All right.
Oh my God.
I wish everybody just saw Chris put his hands in the air. And
Crowd's going crazy.
His teammates are going
Citi
crazy.
Field. Jose Iglesias, man, he's a hero in New York.
This dude is a performer.
Look out.
Harrison Bader's coming up from the back.
Jorge Alfaro may his LF.
What? Oh, LFGSD.
Yeah, that may be under siege from OMG.
All right.
West Coast style.
So there you go.
Good job, Jose.
I am really impressed by this. Quite honestly, I knew what the OMG thing was last year. Didn't really pay attention too much.
You didn't know that Jose Iglesias was the guy behind it.
No. I knew of the song. Didn't know any of this. But
Okay.
I think it's pretty awesome
Now you
because
do.
he actually is good at singing. So
did
my
well.
question is this, Chris. We've had the swag chain and the Mets had OMG.
Yeah.
Would you rather a song or an object for your good luck charm?
Well, here's the problem. First of all, I like both. The song seems like more people can get in on it.
Yeah.
Whereas the swag chain, not everyone's going to have a swag chain.
Yeah, it's too easy to go, oh my.
But everybody can
God.
get in on a song, so maybe that's a little more inclusive. I don't know that the Padres can get OMG though. They're going to have to come up with something. You can't just take it from the Mets and now make it a
That's not what I'm
Padres
saying.
thing.
I'm saying Julio, or I called him
Julio Iglesias.
Jose Iglesias.
Yeah. He's going to have to come up with a whole new song for the Padres.
If he goes and does another number one song, I don't think he cares if he comes up with another song.
If he can do something that good for the Padres, then it can take over the town for sure.
I will say
I don't think that the OMG can become the Padres thing.
I didn't.
No, I'm just saying to everyone out there, we can't have it.
No, I agree.
It's too much Mets.
Too much Mets.
Yeah.
The swag chain is buried deep under the ocean.
That I don't understand. I think the swag chain should have stayed, and I think we should still have the swag chain.
It kind of became bad luck.
Well, that's too bad because we should have turned it back around. The fact of the matter is every team in baseball does something silly now after a home run. And the Padres started that. And now what started that is gone. I don't like that.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, every team does something.
Yeah,
right
they do.
when they hit a home run.
You have a straw hat. You have
whatever
like
it is. Yeah.
You have a Triton if you're a Mariner.
And they all pale in comparison to the original swag chain. And, the guy spinning it and the whole thing.
Yeah.
I miss it. I really do.
My favorite swag chain moment would be Daniel Camarena.
Well, that was a hell of a moment.
And I can remember Tony on the broadcast saying, the swag chain spinning, folks.
Well, it was.
I would much rather have a song, though, because you're right. I want a concert after the game, after a big Padres win. Jose Iglesias singing the Padres song on the field.
With Enrique Iglesias.
Iglesias. All right.
Number 4.
LeBron James. I give him a hard time. Not as much as you guys lead on.
Mm-hmm.
But he last night became the first player in NBA history to score 50,000 combined points between the playoffs and the regular season.
50,000. That's
50,000.
That's a hefty amount.
That's a hefty amount. Now, I am going to go first. Question is, how close is he to being the actual GOAT? I think he's there.
You think he's
he's
there now?
I don't think you can do as much as LeBron has done over the 20 years and not be called the GOAT. Even if he hasn't won as many championships as Michael Jordan, he holds all the records. He's playing much longer than Michael Jordan did, and he is still playing great basketball at the age of 40, and he's going to continue to get better. They have a good team now. They're going to make the playoffs this year, Chris. He could win another finals this year. I think he's already taken the GOAT spot.
You think he's number one?
I do.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. And that's not unfair for you to think that. I really don't think you saw Jordan, how old were you in 86?
1.
That's the answer. See, you 85, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's even before he won a championship, and he was unbelievable with the the stuff he could do out there. Then he started winning all the championships. Jordan's going to be the guy. But LeBron, 50,000 is not joking around.
No.
It deserves, to be mentioned. Michael Jordan, I'm trying to find it here.
Career points.
Scored 32,000 points. And then I'd have to go through the postseason and see exactly how many he had there. But you get my drift. He's got it. 50,000's way up there. But the one thing that will stand the test of time is that only 4 players in the history of the NBA have ever won the MVP award, the scoring title, the championship.
In one season?
The finals MVP.
Okay.
And then also been first-team all-defense in the same season. Only 4 guys. Those 4 guys, Michael Jordan.
It's easy when you cherry pick a stat that fits your narrative.
That's a hell of a stat, though.
Okay, fine. But did he score 50,000 points? No, he didn't.
He didn't play long enough to score 50,000
Exactly. That's
points.
why LeBron's the GOAT, because he's still playing at the top of his game.
Scoring average, Michael Jordan has more points per game than LeBron James.
That's because
More
LeBron
points
James has
than
played
anybody.
more games.
What?
Have they played? He's got to have played more games than Jordan at this point.
Yes, of course he has.
So
But
he has more
Jordan-
opportunities to score less than his average, to bring down the average.
God.
I know I'm trying to reach here on that one.
You're reaching a little. If you would have been there in the 80s and, you'd 90s. or
I
the
grew up
90s,
in a
you'd be there.
family that was from Chicago, big old Bulls fans. I had a Michael Jordan jersey growing up, Chris. I think this will never be solved.
I really don't even think it's a question. I think
Because it's a generational thing.
I do, but I think LeBron James belongs on the all-first team without question. The top, your first team all-NBA for history. LeBron's there. I think there's some people that don't even think he belongs on that. He certainly belongs on that. But it's going to be tough to beat out Jordan.
All right, let's move to the next one.
Move on.
Number 3.
Last night, the Suns were playing the Clippers, and cameras caught an interaction between KD, Kevin Durant, and Suns head coach Mike Budenholzer, where Kevin Durant was walking by him, and after a timeout, and the coach grabbed his arm, and KD kind of yanked it out of the way as he kept walking. Well, the media sounded the alarm on this and immediately asked the question, is there trouble brewing in Phoenix? And here is what KD said about the interaction.
Yeah, that's what usually happens when you don't know the dynamics of a relationship. You catch something on TV, you get a quote, and now you pushing that narrative as if me and Bud don't do it all the time. We competitive as 2 individuals who want to see things done the right way. And sometimes my way ain't the way that Bud want to do it, and vice versa. And he allows me as a player on the team, a veteran on the team, to voice my opinion. If we both didn't care, we would never have stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm glad that the win is going to sweep all of that stupid stuff under the rug, because people couldn't wait. Even some people in Phoenix in here couldn't wait to run with that, and say, oh, this is the reason why the team ain't playing well, because of that specific thing. But come on, man. That shows that me and Bud really care about trying to right.
All right, there we go.
We got you, KD.
Yes, we got you. So
he pushed him on the way to the bench.
No, he didn't even do that.
He grabbed him.
He grabbed him and he just moved his arm up. There was no defensiveness to it at all. Although KD was just like, get my arm.
What's your question?
Out of your hand. Blah 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 blah. Do you buy this?
Yes, because I saw the rest of the video, and right after it was over, Kevin Durant turned around and went back up to Bud or Budenholzer, and said, "Hey, we're cool." And Budenholzer said, "Yeah, on we go.
We move on."
So this was, a lot of people showed, one instance of the video, the actual grabbing of the arm. Then they cut the whole video and didn't show the rest of it. So
yeah, of course.
And
you
be
heard
careful
it.
what you watch.
You heard what he said.
Not what he said is right.
He said that the media couldn't wait to run with this narrative, which I do think is
not only that, brothers, in battle fight amongst themselves often. There's nothing wrong with it. It usually leads to a good result down the road.
Yeah, a couple months ago, Tony and I were screaming at each other, and we were in break, and then we came back from break, and everything was fine. It was fine. Seriously, like we fight. Tony and I fight off the air sometimes. Everything's good.
Stop comparing yourself to,
Kevin Durant and Budenholzer.
Yeah, you could be Budenholzer, except he looks like Craig.
He does look like Craig Elston.
He does.
That is a good point.
Budenholzer and Craig Elston are almost identical.
It's a good point. I forgot about that. Everybody look up a Budenholzer photo and then look up a Craig Elston photo.
Maybe not it might have to be Craig from 3 or 4 years ago. Got a little more hair going on.
Oh, my
No, I don't mean it
goodness.
that way. Budenholzer wears his hair longer than Craig does.
Budenholzer does have long hair for sure.
No, but Craig used to wear his hair a little longer, so that's what I meant by that.
All right.
Go
Just
ahead.
like how you meant I wasn't
Move
fat the
on.
other day.
Just get out of this.
I was reading about the Sacramento A's last night, and it was an opinion from one of the writers at the Sacramento Bee. They were saying that the lack of want to attach themselves to Sacramento, even if it's for 3 years, is disrespectful to the city and to all the people who had to work to make this happen. They haven't even posted anything on social media about their new home, and they refuse to have the name Sacramento put in their name. So I'm up first. Is it disrespectful to the city of Sacramento? The A's won't recognize the city as their temporary home. Absolutely, this is disrespectful.
Whoa, you're upset.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. There's fire coming out of your nostrils.
Cannot stand John Fisher. He is the worst.
You do hate him.
And he's on the MLB executive committee. You know what, A's? No one wants you. Sacramento took you. Why don't you be a little nicer to them? This whole A's thing has made me so angry because of the family and friends I grew up with that are hardcore A's fans. And now they move out of Oakland, refuse to be called Sacramento, just so people don't. I don't know what they're doing that for. This is really, really bad, Chris.
I'm not going to yell that loud, but I agree. Sacramento took them in, saved them,
changed their entire stadium around,
saved them. Sacramento saved the A's. The A's the whole deal was about to collapse completely, right? Fisher wanted out of Oakland into Las Vegas. Las Vegas had all these delays for this, that, and the other reason, like normally happens. They needed, something to save the day. Sacramento saved the day.
Stepped up
for 2 years, right? Is it 2 years? 3. Sacramento saved the day. I'm so the A's, the least they could have done is allowed themselves to be called the Sacramento A's. And I am from this moment forward,
we will call them the Sacramento. I'm
not even call them A's.
Sacramento?
Just Sacramento. I'm not even going to mention the name Athletics because that's what they want to be known as. Like when they come to the Padres go there. But I'm just saying when they go on the road, they wanted to say San Diego on the scoreboard and then Athletics.
Not going to happen.
No,
we're going Sac.
You're not just the Athletic. There's no such team in any sport that doesn't mention a city name or state name with it, do they? Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, some of the FCs or some of the MLS teams, but in baseball, they all have cities.
What do you mean? Every MLS team is FC.
I guess New
FC,
England Patriots. New England's not really a city.
No, but that's the representation area of the team. They're not. It's not, ladies and gentlemen, the Patriots.
No, it's New England Patriots.
Thank you. Okay, so you don't get to be the Athletics.
All right.
So I'm yelling now. I didn't think I would, but I am. I'm upset too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being on my side.
Number 1.
We talked about Fred Couples' comments on Brooks Koepka apparently wanting to return to the PGA Tour yesterday. Well, Phil Mickelson was not happy with Freddie Boom Boom. After hearing what Couples said, Mickelson tweeted a reply, quote, "If it's not true, he damaged a relationship which he cares about. If it is true, he took away Brooks' control of the timeline and narrative. Either way, this is a low-class jerk move by Fred." End quote. Mickelson later deleted the tweet, which I don't ever understand.
Mickelson got into Fred Couples and then took it out
and deleted.
Really?
So my question for you, Chris, do you think Mickelson actually cares about this Brooks Koepka thing, or do you feel like he thinks Liv is falling apart?
I hope he feels that Liv's falling apart. And I'm a Phil fan, but
I'm
a Liv hater. And I always
Phil
will be.
caused
a lot of it to happen. Maybe he does recognize that it's slipping away. By putting that post in, he was like, I'm gonna let them know. But then he realized how many of us would know now that he, is worried about losing it. Yeah.
But
so
once
that's
you
why he
tweet
took it away.
something, Phil, It's out there forever.
Yeah.
Someone screenshotted that. That's the reason I have this tweet.
The guy you hate, Brooks Koepka, is going to save the history of golf by coming back.
That's not even a lie. It could be true, which is insane.
100% truth. Happy hours next on Gwynn and Chris. Happiness is the happy hour. Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 5:00 is the time. Chrisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., and Matt Skraby. Tony is idle for the next couple of days. He's in Florida with his daughter. Little soccer tournament going on down there. Skraby, I expect report from you. Yeah. Give me a little update how they.
I think that'd be kind of creepy if I was checking in on Tony's daughter's soccer game.
Texting Tony for scores and details.
I don't know that he would respond.
Would that be creepy creeperton, as you guys like to say?
No, because it would be if I was didn't really know Tony, but it wouldn't be creeperton.
Okay.
But it would be out of character because I've never asked him for a soccer score ever.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true. All right, so no Tony for a couple of days. We're hanging in, holding down the fort. Michael Flix talking high school hoops coming at the bottom of the hour. You high school basketball fans, stick around. For that, we're into the high school state playoffs now, Skraby, which means my season as a referee is over.
You don't get asked to do the playoffs?
I'm not good enough, apparently.
Apparently.
Well, they don't ask. So
why do you ask?
You don't ask, you are chosen. As one of the top officials. You move along in the postseason. So when they get to the state playoffs, I'm left out.
You do have a powerful position of campaigning for.
I should be able to campaign a little more, is what you're saying, huh?
On the air for some playoff spots.
I want to.
Who runs this league?
No kidding. This? No kidding. These
I'm
guys
going to get after them.
They don't know what they're doing. Let's be honest. They really don't. 5:02 is the time. There's a couple of NFL notes. Can I get a little NFL music just because I want to hear it?
Wow, we're going to NFL right out the gate.
I want to hear it.
No OMG, just NFL.
I want to hear it. We'll do OMG later. We did that already. When's the draft, by the way? Are we getting close? April? Or is it in March?
Yeah, guess what? I signed us up for a draft show, so you're welcome.
What?
I signed us up for a draft show. We had so much fun last year.
So I have to host the draft coverage again?
If you would like. I mean, I can't force you into it.
Well,
but
I just think it's a disservice to the listeners.
Why?
Because I hate the draft.
Yeah, but you did such a great job on it
coverage
last year. You did such a great job.
Draft. I think it's the dumbest thing ever.
It's a Padres off day too.
Oh,
that's why it's happening.
What's the date? I need to know.
One of the Thursdays in April.
Oh, it's okay. So we're still over a month away.
Oh yeah. I've been hearing. Okay, go ahead with your.
Who's your number one, top pick that's a bust? And I know who it is. Who do you think's going to be just really not good? One of these guys that they're all talking about is going to be the next this, that. And
I do think this is not me being a hater. I do think Shedeur Sanders is being overvalued a lot, and I've been reading a lot about how he didn't. Now I have a couple thoughts about this. He didn't impress teams with his answers. He kind of came off as arrogant and brash, but he's Deion Sanders' kid. What do you expect?
Right. How else is he going to be?
But I do feel like the media is piling on him a little bit and trying to put out a bunch of bad press about him.
Oh, no. You think they're trying? Okay.
I do. I think that he's taking strays for no reason, but I do think he'll be overdrafted.
Cam Ward is projected on this one as the number one pick going to the Giants. Shedeur number 2. I think the best player coming out in the draft, the two best players, I'm going to tell you right now, offensive, defensive rookie of the year. How about that?
Okay.
I think they both played for Penn State. One is the defensive end, the edge now they call it. You're not a defensive end anymore. You're an edge.
You're an edge rusher.
Abdul Carter. This guy, to me, looks like a beast.
Yeah, he is.
I think he can do some things. The other guy on the offensive side is the tight end for Penn State last year, Tyler Warren. You remember this guy, number 44? Players were dropping off of him as he ran down the field. And he's so athletic, as a tight end, he was even throwing passes and running tight end arounds. He's got speed. He's got size. Was it Brock Bowers?
Yep.
Same thing. So I see Tyler Warren, and I see the other guy, Carter.
Abdul Carter.
But my loser in the draft is the team that gets Travis Hunter.
Really?
I think he's too little. I don't see him doing a whole lot of stuff. I'll be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I just don't,
I think Travis Hunter.
I think he's a big deal because he plays both ways. I think that's it. Is he going to be as good as Dion or somebody as a cornerback? Is he really going to catch more than 10 passes, 20 passes? They're not going to use him on offense. Everybody says he's the best player because of, he's a rare prospect, a two-way ability, all this stuff. I don't see it. I don't see him playing receiver hardly at all. It's hard enough to be a receiver when that's your only position.
Yeah.
Do you know how many you know this, we talked to Camarillo about it, but the checkoffs and the calls from the quarterback and the hand signals, that stuff's developed over months and months of practice, receiver and quarterback on the same page. Travis Hunter's going to be on the other side of the field playing defense. I don't see it. Don't see it. If it could happen, more guys could do it because he's not the only athlete that's this good.
So you're saying that if he gets drafted as a cornerback, or he's going to be drafted as a cornerback.
Yeah.
You're saying if he plays defense primarily, you think that he's not going to live up to the hype.
Well, I just don't think he's going to play offense, and I think a lot of offense.
Okay.
So, and I think that's the thing that people are counting on him to live up to. My point, the best argument against it that I've heard is if anyone could do it, more guys would do it because the athletes in the NFL are at least as good as, if not better than Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
But none of them do it. So why is he the one guy? That I just don't see how he's the guy.
I am
as opposed to the rest of these guys.
How much he either falls in the draft or
he'll be
rises
high.
in the draft.
He'll be way up there.
Yeah,
he'll be way up
That's
there.
an interesting
I'm
one.
also rooting against anybody Mel Kiper says is good.
Oh my gosh.
That's not on them. That's on Mel Kiper. But if Mel Kiper says you're going to be a huge, thing, then I'll just automatically root against you.
He said Bijan Robinson was going to be generational talent. He's looking that way.
Yeah, and Falcons have won, 5 games since he's got there in 2 years?
That's a Falcons problem.
That's, Bijan Robinson is the whole team.
He's doing all he can.
Okay, well, you stick up for him.
I
When he
will.
wins a game, let me know. Why did I bring that up? Oh, the NFL. I want to give you a couple of stories that came down in the league today. We got sidetracked for the 1 millionth time on this show.
Yes, today has been weird.
No, like every day. DK Metcalf wants out of Seattle. That's a little news item for you.
DeKalin?
That's his full real name, I assume.
Yeah.
Yes, DK has requested a trade. Wants to be dealt to a contending team. This makes me pull my hair out. The Seahawks were 1 game from the playoffs last year. Don't tell me you weren't a contending team already.
He sees the writing
I
on the
hate
wall.
that. Because why? What's the writing on the
Gino's
wall?
getting older.
Please.
I don't mind him asking for a trade. The other controversy, we're going to talk about this part of it. Tyler Lockett was...
Yeah, they got rid of him.
Yeah, but
okay.
The Seahawks are kind of upset that DK released the news of wanting to be traded on the same day that Tyler Lockett was released.
Well,
so Seahawks are angry.
Well, look, I am angry too. Not everybody can play for the Eagles or the Chiefs. Play on your team and help them become good. The Seahawks were right there last year. I think they lost that on a tiebreaker to the Rams, or darn close to it.
Yeah, I mean, they were right there.
I mean, don't give me this, I need to be on a contending team. You were on one. That just ticks me off. You know why he really wants to be traded? Because Jackson Smith and Jigma's 3 times better than him, and he didn't want to play second fiddle. So where he really wants to go is somewhere where they don't have another good wide receiver so that he can, shine better.
You know where I think he should
That's
go?
what I think.
The 49ers.
Perfect.
I would love DK.
You may have him.
Just
You
throw it
got
over
a
the
couple of
top.
openings there. Now that you got your 5th round pick for
Debo.
For Debo. The other NFL news, the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of football is now Max Crosby.
Oh, wow.
The rate as edge or defensive end, Max Crosby, 3 years, $106. I think that's $32 million a year for a defensive lineman.
I mean, he's really good, but he's also been complaining about how bad the Raiders have been, so I hope he doesn't complain now he signed this big deal.
Yes, and I hope he doesn't complain now that the Raiders won't be able to get any other good players because they're giving all their money to him.
That's another point. I like
So
Max
don't-
Crosby. I think he's a good dude.
I
but
like him too, but
interesting-
don't. You're right. Don't tell me that you want a lot of talent around you. You just took most of the salary cap yourself. So understand that. Raiders, I don't. I don't see paying that kind of money to a guy that hasn't helped you win any games. He's a really good player, don't get me wrong, but
he's a game changer.
And here's a story changer right here. Miami Dolphin linebacker Bradley Chubb has agreed to a restructured contract. What a guy. He's taking less money for the good of the squad. Bradley Chubb last year participated in not a single play. Thank you, Bradley, for your contributions. He was hurt the whole year.
Yeah, there was a major contract.
Maybe you should take a restructuring when you haven't played a single play the whole year.
I think his money just gets moved elsewhere. It gets moved to it. See, the Cowboys created, I can't remember.
Yeah, they created some work.
Like $50 million in cap space by redoing
36
CDs and Dak's contract.
Right.
You should not be able to sign someone to a contract and then change it every year so you can get cap money.
Well, that's what they do. And you know what? Every team does it. So I think it's an equal opportunity.
Not the 49ers. I don't know that for a fact. So.
You don't know that for a fact. All right, there's your NFL stuff. Dak's making less money now for the time being.
Yeah. It's
basically what they do when they restructure, it's football's version of what the Dodgers do.
Deferring
money. That's basically what it is.
I actually blame the Dodgers for DK wanting to be traded because they made it okay to do this whole thing where you can all go to the same team and it'll be fun.
No, that won't work in the NFL. You can't do that in the NFL because they have the cap. Last thing on the Dodgers on that, Dodgers have a total of over or under $1 billion in deferred payments right now. It's exactly $1 billion. That's where they're at. $1 billion is owed down the road.
This is Rob Manfred.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's good for baseball.
It's great for baseball.
It's great for baseball.
Yeah, I know. And here come the Dodger fans. They're going to just kill you.
I don't even care at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I do care if they kill me.
You know what, Dodger fans? We've heard all of your arguing and whining and complaining about the rest of us complaining. But just understand what the Dodgers do is just crazy compared to what everybody else does. And, you know, you should win the championship every year. That's all I can say to you. Check me some traffic, Skraby. It's about to rain. And
she's taking a little bit to update because she needed to update something.
Well, there is a little rain on the way or even getting here or almost here or here. So, you know what that means? You know what that means in San Diego, everybody? You're driving less than a half mile per hour home today. Are we the worst driving city in America when it rains?
You know what? I think we're the worst driving city in America, period.
You're giving us the honor straight up in all kinds of weather.
You know, someone told me recently why people are not good drivers anymore. It's because of the lane assisted driving cars. People don't actually drive their car anymore.
And it's going to get more and more that way, Skrabe.
I feel like I'm 100 years old at all times, but I'm only 39.
Well, if you're 39, how many hundreds of years old am I then?
472, but we do have traffic now.
All right, coming back with more of Skraby and Methuselah on Gwynn and Chris.
Methuselah.
From the 855.
Skraby, you know how we like to recognize as many different sports people as we can in our community. You know, we talk mostly about the Padres. We talk about the Aztecs, SDFC.
UCSD now.
Little UCSD. But I like to, you know, if you're going to take a minute, and I'm going to tell you this, if you work in one of the sports information offices or in public relations for a team in our town, you're going to take a minute, send me stuff that your team is doing and accomplishing. We'll talk about it.
You're opening it up to people.
Right. I don't get enough of that stuff. But I got something today from Point Loma, Nazarene College.
All right. Now,
I wouldn't have known this.
University.
Point Loma Nazarene University now. Thank you. I would not have known this had they not sent this out.
Okay.
So I appreciate them sending it out. Head coach Charity Elliott named Pac West Coach of the Year.
Wow,
good for her.
A big deal.
She leads PLNU to the women's basketball Pac West Championship, their first ever at Point Loma Nazarene University. Congrats to all the kids on that team.
Very nice.
Including Allie McDonald, who was voted the conference's newcomer of the year. McDonald shoots 43.2% from three.
That's good,
pretty
right?
good.
That's good, right?
That's good.
You know, I'm a former play-by-play announcer for Point Loma Nazarene University basketball.
And the program still stands. So
it
that's
still
good.
stands. When I did soccer, I had no idea what I was doing, and that was the time I said, "Oh, she came up a little limpy."
Came up a little limpy, you said.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say.
Anyway, I like stuff like that, and I like to recognize.
All right.
Good job, Charity Elliott and PLNU.
All right.
On the women's side.
That's all you got?
No.
Okay.
I have one more thing. Well, now I have a couple more things. Bryce Harper.
You mean the first baseman?
Well, yeah, and it's funny because you asked a question on the trivia today.
Yes.
What position does Bryce Harper play? And the answer was first base, even though I argued that he's played way more right field in his life than he has first base, which is actually true. Bryce Harper saying today that he would like to go back to right field.
No!
But only he said he's open to returning to right field if the Phillies could get themselves a big time first baseman. What he's trying to urge them to do is find a way to trade for Vlad Guerrero, in which case he'll be happy to go to right field.
I see.
Gotcha.
So he's not actually going to right field.
He's not.
Okay.
He's staying at first base until Harper can work a trade with the Blue Jays to get Vlad Guerrero. Here's how he said it. When Pete Alonso was still available, I was like, hey, I'll move to right field if we get another big first baseman. He reiterated that to Scott Barras, his agent.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. This is how players go about trying to tell their teams, hey, go get me a first baseman. I'll go to right
why doesn't
field.
Bryce Harper just walk into the manager's office and says, hey, I would like to get back in right field?
He doesn't want to go to back right field unless they get a first baseman. One last thing that I wanted to give you.
I got something too after you're done.
Jeff Passan has an article today, and he names in the article the 10 players in baseball that are creating amazing buzz around spring training camps this spring in Arizona and Florida.
Is Tirso on it?
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Matt McClain,
all right.
Second baseman, Reds.
Okay.
Sandy Alcantara. Apparently, scouts say he's got it back for the Marlins.
100, yeah.
Of course, he missed all of last year, but he won the Cy Young in 2022. You know what happened to him, by the way, in 2023, don't you?
No.
I drafted him in my fantasy baseball
Oh, that
team.
is right. I did know that.
I wrecked his 2023 season. Spencer Schellenbach, Atlanta Braves.
I heard a lot about him last year.
I didn't know this guy was a shortstop. What other position would he be in college? And then had a little work in the bullpen at Nebraska. Braves have made him a pitcher, and they think he's on his way to greatness. Christopher Sanchez, pitcher, Phillies, lefty. Fastball is now comparable, according to scouts, to Tariq Skubal.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's really bad news for the rest of the league. If Christopher Sanchez is that good,
yeah,
because they already have Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and Ranger Suarez.
Yes, they do.
That's a little much. The rest are all in the American League, so I'm not going to give you those.
Okay.
But one of the ones in the American League is former Padre, who we just gave away, unfortunately, Andres Munoz. Remember him?
That one's going to hurt for a while.
That still hurts, yeah.
It does still hurt.
Apparently he's still throwing over $100, but now he is throwing what they call a kick changeup.
There's a bunch of new pitches there, and Bob Scanlon said it today on the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're all the same pitches, but they've changed the names of them to something else.
Sweepers and kick changeups and all of this.
Yeah.
You can't reinvent the wheel.
The arm speed changeup that Dylan Cease is throwing.
Everybody's got something. I know what you're saying on that.
Hey, I got something, Chris.
What do you got?
I like it when people in town send me stuff, and they send us stuff, and we'll talk about it if you send us some stuff from around town. So,
I heard that somewhere already.
Point Loma Nazarene University has just sent out an email, and so we're going to talk about it. PLNU men's basketball head coach, what's his name? Justin Downer has been named the Big West Coach of the Year.
On the men's side, they won that too. Not the Big West, the Pac West.
Pac West, yes.
Yeah,
right.
if you won the Big West, that'd be really
Pac
something.
West. But both the men's and women's coaches win that award.
PLNU, 4th straight conference title on the men's side. Yes, you're right. That just came in. All right. So
PLNU is always up there, like fighting
for
for the
them.
national championship, going deep in their tournament.
Like to recognize Point Loma Nazarene University, and we just did. All right. Our high school expert will be on with us next to break it all down. Give us a preview of tonight's big one. Montgomery, the Open Division champ in San Diego, getting ready for its first round playoff game tonight as well. We'll find out more about it when Gwynn and Chris comes back. I can't go on, Skraby. That's it. I can't go on. Unless I announce today's biggest fan. Then I can go on.
The people won't let you go on.
No, they won't. Congratulations to today's biggest fan. It's John Earl. And I apologize, John, if it's not pronounced Earl, but it's a tough one.
That is exactly what's in there. I thought about this a million times. It's spelled early with an L at the end. So
Yes.
I think it's early L.
Early L. John Earlyl. If that's your name and you're willing to admit to it, no, I'm just kidding. John, you are today's biggest fan.
Yes, John. Yes. Call in 833-288-0973.
You got 10 minutes to call. And if you get in there before the 10-minute count, you qualify for the grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends, a night in our Odyssey suite at a Padres game later this season. The rest of you not named John Earlyl. Now I'm going with Earlyl. I'm just like
That's what he gave
us.
That's what they signed up with. So
okay. The rest of you get registered at 973thefanst.com/biggest fan. John Earlyl. John, 10 minutes starts now. You have till 5:45:32 on the clock. Skraby does not give you an extra second, by the way. So you have 10 minutes and 10 minutes only. All right, Michael Flix is here. We can go to him.
Yes, he's right there.
But we're going to need traffic.
It's not ready yet.
Still not ready.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll get to it.
Let's go to Michael Flix then. Talk some.
He's already on the camera.
There he is. Hi, Michael. How's it going, buddy?
You know what? I got to give him a
As usual, Skraby doesn't have a
that
microphone
was
for
pretty
you.
stupid.
He's on camera. You just can't hear him.
That was dumb of me.
Yeah, it's the radio, Skrab. Don't forget. State playoffs are underway, and first you should take a minute to recognize the champs in San Diego County. Last week is all determined. Montgomery, Saints, Olympian, Maranatha Christian, Tri-City Christian, Pacific Ridge. They all won.
Yes.
Section titles. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to know the Maranatha Christian coach.
Oh,
you know who he is?
I've met him. I don't know him personally.
Well, his name is Brooks Barnhart.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter plays on the Aztec women's team. That's why I know him.
Okay.
He was an all-conference player himself at USD back in the day. Really good player. But I did ref a couple of their games this year, and I don't think they won those games. But they won the championship, and I was kidding with their family last night. Tell Brooks, congratulations. He probably had better refs. That's why he won.
That's true. I mean, you didn't. You
How
weren't
do you
even,
know it's true?
Because you weren't even good enough to make the CIF reffing.
I know.
Ooh, shots
I'm not
fired.
good enough.
Hey, he admitted that on the radio.
Oh, I must be the worst ref ever. I mean, they don't pick me for any of these games. But yeah, congrats to all those teams, and now into the state playoffs. And we had a successful night in the San Diego team showed well. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Carlsbad got a win. Santa Fe Christian, who actually beat another San Diego team, Victory Christian. Francis Parker got a win. Torrey Pines, St. Augustine, Mira Mesa, and Pacific Ridge all won their first round of CIF state playoff games. Carlsbad beat Fairmount 59-55 on a go-ahead three-pointer by Jake Hall with 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
So that was pretty big.
Jake is your guy.
Yeah, he's
everybody's
guy.
Yeah.
He's been number one player in town all year, and he's been showing why he's that guy. Hit a last second three to send his team to the second round of the state tournament. They'll be playing J. Sarah up at J. Sarah on Thursday night at 7 p.m. J. Sarah's a really good team. Actually, Carlsbad lost to them early on at the Torrey Pines Holiday Classic, so they'll get a chance to get a rematch and get some get back against them. So that's
luck
pretty
to
exciting.
Carlsbad, they won it last year, and then they came up short to Montgomery this year.
Yes.
But, the Lancers have had it going for a few years here. And I know their coach listens to the show, right, Scrape? Called you directly last week.
No, that's not true. But I do know someone listens to the show.
Someone related with the program.
Yes.
I've been getting that a lot around town, whether it's like refs or different players. Like plenty of people like, oh man, I listened to you on the radio. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were listening. Thank you for listening.
They like the high school. Look, the high school. Everybody's related to a high school somewhere.
True indeed.
That's why the high schools. Still a big deal. All right, go on. Santa Fe Christian.
They played
Victory Christian, which I don't
Christian.
understand. Why did they put two San Diego teams in the first round? Did they Would they just have to, or the seedings came out that way?
I'm assuming the seedings just came out that way. I don't think that's something that they would do on purpose, but I'm sure both the San Diego teams aren't complaining about not having to drive far for a state tournament game. So, but yeah, Santa Fe Christian beat Victory Christian 55-50, and they're going to play Bakersfield Christian.
They're going to drive now.
They're going to drive now. They got to go up to Bakersfield and play Bakersfield Christian on Thursday at 7:00.
One of the things before you get to the rest of them, you said that the team is happy they don't have to drive. I never got to be on a state, high school basketball team, but I liked to drive far away and come in and beat another team. So I think that, that opportunity, a lot of people like to stay at home and play at home and sleep in their own bed. I like to go the other way.
You know what?
So I think teams that, you have to do that if you're going to win the state title. You have to do some traveling at some point, eventually to LA, and then hopefully to, what is it, San Jose or Sacramento?
Sacramento.
Yeah, where they have the
finals.
I'm
with you on that. I coached at my alma mater. Shout out to Orange Glen. I was one of the assistant coaches on the varsity in 2016, I believe. And we came up short to Helix in the CIF championship, but our state tournament, all 3 of our games, we ended up making to the semis. All 3 of our games were on the road, and it was really fun. It was a lot of fun for us.
Got to be a road warrior.
I do like the whole trip of it and the camaraderie of the team riding the bus together, but you definitely want to be able to play a playoff game at home in front of your crowd with that energy.
Crowd matters.
For sure.
All right, Francis Parker wins. Nicely done by the, what are they? They're the Lancers too? No, that's Carlsbad.
Francis Parker, yeah, they're the Lancers.
Oh, they are the Lancers.
They are the
I
Lancers,
talked myself out of it.
Yeah,
all right, Francis Parker wins by 1 last night.
Point over Irvine High School. So they'll play Chatsworth High School at 7 p.m. up in LA. Chatsworth High School, they actually have Gilbert Arenas' son on the team, and he's been Taj Arenas. He's McDonald's All-American. He's been killing all year, so that's going to be
So Francis Parker may want to work on the Diamond in 1.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got some studs on that team too. We got some Tavid Lee Johnson. He could really play. He could put the ball in the hole. So it's gonna be a fun little matchup.
All right. Is Gilbert Arenas' son? Does he wear 0? Are you allowed to do that in high school?
Agent 0.
I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
I think he does wear 0.
I can't think of a 0 player in my.
What school does he play for again?
Chatsworth High School.
You're going to look it up.
You guys go ahead.
You got nothing else to do.
So then we got
that is not nice.
Torrey Pines, they keep going.
Yeah, Torrey Pines keeps going. They beat Santa Margarita 66-59, and they're going to play Maricosta High School on Thursday night at 7:00. All these next games.
Maricosta's the Mustangs.
The college. Are they?
Wait.
The high school?
Maricosta, the reason I say Maricosta was in my league in high school. Now I can't remember. Maybe they're not the Mustangs. Go ahead.
No worries. And then St. Augustine, who's been playing amazing basketball for the last, I want to say, like 15 to 16 games.
Yes, Mike Hopped, starting to cheat again. I mean, that's what he does so well. Hopped, if you're out there. No.
By cheating, you mean amazing coaching. Yes, he is cheating.
He can coach, man. He can coach. They started 3-12 this year, and then they got their team together, and now they're moving on in the state playoffs.
Looking amazing. They got a 20-point win. That's crazy to get a 20-point win in the first round of the state tournament.
Yeah,
but they did it. They won 60-40 over Canyon High School, and they're going to play Riverside Poly, which has a very, very rich basketball tradition at that school. They're going to play Riverside Poly on Thursday night up at 7:00. So that's going to be a pretty tough game.
Where is that game?
That's at Riverside Poly. That's the school that Kawhi Leonard graduated high school from. They got a rich high school basketball tradition up there.
Gilbert Arenas' son does wear 0 at Chatsworth.
I thought so.
Very good. Saints, I understand they're playing at Riverside probably because of the seating, but Saints ought to host all the games. They have the best gym in the world down there.
I got one of them. I like Montgomery's gym a lot too, though.
Montgomery's
gym a lot too.
Okay, but I'm gonna give Saints the nod, just a slight nod. I mean, it's the perfect high school gymnasium.
You know
what? About 2,000 kids,
no,
3,000 kids.
I'll give you that.
Right behind the free throw, they got the students right there.
I'll give you that. I was thinking Montgomery just because it's bigger and it holds more people. But as far as like the high school atmosphere and the energy, you're right.
Saints is amazing. You're right. All right, Mira Mesa, they won, and they've been a bit the Marauders. I know that one.
Can we stop with this now, Chris?
He's getting them right though.
Mira Mesa, keep going until you get it wrong.
Mira Mesa is they were a bit of a surprise this year, were they not? I mean, nobody were people expecting them to have this kind of year?
No, and right before the season started, they got like a 6'7" kid to.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah, he joins. I'm blanking on his name. Sorry, bro. But he had an amazing year, and he just like kind of dropped in their lap, and they're like, "Yeah, we gonna make a nice little run with this kid on the team."
All of a sudden, 6'7" shows up on your doorstep.
Absolutely,
good for them.
So they got a 3-point win over San Dimas High School, and they're gonna play Birmingham High School on Thursday night at 7:00. And then the last of our teams that won, Pacific Ridge, they beat Saddleback High School 65-48, and they're going to play the Math and Science College Prep High School from LA on Thursday night at 7.
Good for all those teams. Congratulations.
Yes. I do want to. We have some teams that lost. I want to shout them out.
Mention them.
San Marcos, sure. Mission Bay, Cathedral Catholic, La Jolla Country Day, Victory Christian, Sage Creek, Olympian, Southwest SD, Maranatha Christian, and Tri-City Christian all had state tournament games, but they came up a little short. But shout out to them for making it to the state tournament and making some noise and giving some shine to San Diego for sure.
There's no question, man. Making the state playoffs is impressive. I've always felt that it's a little crazy. By the way, Maricosta High School in Manhattan Beach is the Mustangs. Skrabe.
Nice.
I was on it.
Nice.
All right. Skrabe doesn't care.
I hope everybody saw my eye roll on the cameras. Chris, we have traffic now.
Good.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury. Here's Kelly Danick.
I know I've been saying it all afternoon. Rain is on its way, and it's already hitting parts of the North County. Greater part of San Diego, not so much, but just know it is on its way. Yeah, just a couple accidents to mention here. Northbound 15 near the 76, there is a crash blocking the 3 left lanes. Also, southbound 5 at Garnett, two-vehicle accident over the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Very good, Kelly. Thank you. Miami Heat leading Cleveland 72-71 third quarter. And the college game, Florida by 10 now at Alabama. 6 minutes to go. Back to Michael Flix and the state high school basketball playoffs with 7 teams moving on last night. And but what I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by Skraby again,
fine with it,
is that I always felt as a coach and a player in high school basketball, you have to find a way to enjoy the success that you actually have. The reason I say that, all but one team in each division is going to lose their final game.
Yeah.
Because if you win the San Diego section, great. Now you go into the state tournament. You win a couple of games there. You win the southern part of the draw. Then you go up to, for the final game. You could lose that final game. There's going to be this disappointment, but look at all the amazing wins you had along the way. And I always wonder how coaches deal with their kids on that, right? It's tough because if you have a state tournament, like every state does, there's one big winner at the end.
Yep.
Everyone else loses their last game, no matter who you are.
Well, let me ask you this. What was the original goal for the team? Was it to make it to the state finals? Was it to win, the division? Was it to make it to San Diego CIF? I think it might be case-by-case basis.
Maybe some schools come into every year and go, we are winning state or bust. But that seems to be a little
or at least just win San Diego.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
I think if you can win your San Diego section championship, you're a champion no matter what happens after that.
100%.
Right?
With all due respect to all of our San Diego teams, I don't know if any of them, from what I understand, all our top teams are like, listen, we're going to win our league, we're going to win CIF, and we're going to see what we can do in the state tournament.
Yeah.
Not many of them are like, we're going to go in the state and really, you know what I mean?
Right.
We have teams that have the potential to really do some of those things, but as far as like the expectation coming into the season, most of them want to win league, win CIF, and see what happens in the state tournament.
I think that's a good way to look at it. You're right. You're right. This is bonus basketball in a lot of ways. And if you can win it, what the heck? Go keep going.
Right. And then for teams like for some like Olympian, for example, they lost in the first round, but pretty much their whole team is sophomores and juniors. And so if I'm the coach, I'm looking at it like, look, guys, we were back-to-back CIF championships. Yeah, we lost in the first round, but we're bringing everybody back. Let's see what we can do next year. Definitely the goal is to win CIF again, but let's see what we can really do in the state tournament. So I think that's how you build on it.
I don't think their Olympian coach is telling his players that. He's too busy yelling at the officials. I always give him, is it Marshawn?
Marty.
No, Marty.
Yeah, this is a bias-free zone, Chris.
I'm sorry. I'm unofficial, and I've worked with Marty. He's a good guy, and he cares about his kids, and 100%. He fights for every call, which I appreciate in a roundabout way. All right, so tonight, Montgomery, who was the Open champ, they begin their state final deal right now. Where are they playing tonight?
Sherman Oaks. They're playing
Sherman Oaks. That's
Notre Dame
far.
High School.
That's out there. But they played Notre Dame earlier in the year and lost.
I got that mixed up. Notre Dame was in the Torrey Pines Holiday Classic last year. That was when I saw them.
Got it. All right. So Montgomery will play Notre Dame tonight. And that's are they the only other team that didn't play last night?
Yeah, they're the only ones.
Okay. So what about games in San Diego? Are there any left we can go see?
Games left that we can go and see.
Or is everybody on the road the rest of the way?
Everybody's on the road the rest of it. Let me double check Santa Fe Christian, but I believe everybody's on the road the rest of the way.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
All right, Michael Flix.
No. Santa Fe Christian plays Thursday at home against Bakersfield Christian.
Yes. All right.
I'm more than likely going to be at that game.
Go.
Yes,
you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Go see some high school. All right.
Absolutely.
Good luck to all the teams in the state playoffs. Thank you, Michael Flix.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you for everything.
My
You
pleasure.
are the guy.
I think this is our final one of the year.
What?
Is it?
Oh no.
Do we have more basketball after this?
If our teams keep winning.
Okay. All right. Well, it's we're gonna keep it in
tentative
flux.
for now.
Yes,
Okay.
tentative for now. But if this is the last time, thank you so much for coming down here single
You've been
Wednesday.
a big part of this. It's a big deal because, like you said, a lot of people really listen to this. They enjoy it. They want to hear about how their teams are doing in town. Everybody's connected to a high school somewhere.
You came prepared every single time. We really do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You schooled us all.
This has been a big pleasure for me as someone that's been, doing, working in broadcasting in my ways, doing my podcast and things like that. Worked in a little bit of radio before this, but this is something that's been a lot of fun for me, and it's something I would love to continue to do. So thank you guys so much for having me here.
Yeah, we'll continue to have you in here for sure.
And if, let's say, like Santa Fe Christian or Saints or Pacific Ridge or anybody go to the state playoffs, the finals, Skraby will send you your ticket to Sacramento.
Perfect.
Chris,
Skraby,
can you give me your credit card?
Yeah, you can use. I'll tell you what. Why don't you use Lori's credit card to buy Michael a ticket to?
However we get me there, let's do it.
Yeah, he doesn't care how he gets there. He just wants to get there. All right. Thank you, Michael.
My
sir.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Scrape, we got a couple of minutes.
Yes,
is there something you needed to touch on before we turn it over to the Skraby Chronicles? What do you have in store for us tonight?
Well, I'm very excited that I realized it was Wednesday, which means Sam Levitt has Inside San Diego Baseball at 7 p.m., which means our guy Frank comes in to help me with the show. So it's going to be a lot better show today, I think, with Frank in there.
Are you comparing to what, yesterday's?
No, the shows this week have been fantastic. It was the shows last week after the 4 hours that I did with Sam Levitt that were not fantastic. So.
You ran out of steam a little bit in those.
I totally did, and I learned my lesson. So there's going to be another Sammy and Skraby on Monday.
Sammy and Skraby?
Yep. Tony's going to be back on Tuesday. You're going to be doing the Aztecs women's basketball thing, and we got Sammy and Skraby for.
That's something for everybody to circle on the calendar.
Well, last time he came in, Chris, we had a sports court about relationships and dating. And Sam at first went into it like, I don't know if we should talk about this. And then at the end, he was like, I could do this until 9 p.m. Let's keep going with it. So
he enjoyed it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some relationship advice again.
All right, very good. We gave you the NFL news today.
Yeah.
I think we gave you the baseball news. There's a couple other little stories here. Shortstop Gunder Henderson dealing with, what is this, Scrabe? You're a doctor. Intercostal strain.
Oh, I've heard about that.
I've heard it, but I don't know what it is, honestly.
Let me look at that.
Sounds like
a muscle strain.
Says yes.
In the intercostal area.
In the intercostal area. Thank you. That clears it up for me. Manager Brandon Hyde said, we're going to not push a strain there.
It's a rib thing.
You sure?
So I'm looking at intercostal muscle strain. They're showing the rib. It says there's 3 layers of intercostal muscles: the external, internal, and the innermost intercostals. A strain is when a muscle stretches, pulls, or is partially torn.
Astros Christian Walker out, oblique soreness. It's funny. The oblique is close to the intercostal then. Because the oblique is the muscle side under your ribs, right?
The oblique is in that area as well.
Christian Walker.
It's one of my least favorite injuries in all sports.
He's not on the IL.
The oblique strain.
He's hurting a little bit. There was one other guy. Jordan Walker, young guy for the Cardinals.
Yep.
He got hurt stepping on a sprinkler head.
Oh no! Where? At his house or working out?
I don't know.
I mean, sprinkler heads are dangerous. Have you ever stepped on one golfing and you slip because it's all slick on the sprinkler head?
I never slip, Scraby.
Okay, that's not true.
That isn't true. I fell the other day coming into work.
You did?
I did. I didn't tell you.
What?
Because I knew you'd make fun of me.
What? How did this? Okay, now you got to say it.
I was walking from the parking lot to the building on what day is today?
Wednesday.
Monday. I was walking from the parking lot to the building. was juggling my water bottle and my phone and my keys and whatever, my backpack and whatever other items I had.
Yeah. Your crackers.
And instead of walking, no, I don't have crackers this week.
That's true.
But instead of walking in the parking lot and on the sidewalk where I should walk, I tried to make a cut through the some of the shrubbery. My toe got hooked up on a branch. I fell flat on my keister.
I would have paid money for video of this.
Too bad.
That would have been hilarious.
All right. I
That's
survived it.
Yep, that's it.
Here to tell the story. Tomorrow we're back at 2:00 with another exciting edition. If the Padres would please do us a favor and sign another player tomorrow morning that we can talk about tomorrow afternoon.
Yep.
We would be much appreciative of that. Skraby's Chronicles are next. For Tony Gwynn Jr., Michael Flix, good job. Chris Ello, the rest. Have a good rest of your night. So long.